Like Marvin Gaye would say, let's get it on. It's 9 to noon, starting the work week right with all of you on this beautiful Monday. Billy Schmid, Armin Sarian for one more day. Come on. And John Kuhn with all of you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Last day in here for a few days. You didn't think you wanted to join in there. John,
he gonna do one more. He gonna do one more.
One more, and that's
Give him one more. He gonna do one more.
Underneath the bar is Armin is just bench pressing out reps before the impending birth of his young daughter.
You guys had
one more day here. Let's go, Armin.
You guys had a whole show plan without me. You guys thought you wouldn't see me again, huh? Oh no, that's how the turntables have turned.
Take that off the windows.
Take that off the windows. You don't need that tonight. Yes, no, I am here today. I'm here. The over is hit. The over is slammed at minus 115.
So
minus
it was
115.
115.
Well,
and what was
I
the over-under date here for you? Because I know the due date was the 6th.
The 6th.
But...
Well, that was what we set the over-under at. So
okay.
The
good value
well,
you would have thought at the under.
You set the over-under at the 6th, but when's her actual due date?
That was it.
Well,
that's
that
what I'm saying.
I thought reading your email or your text from yesterday that it was the 9th. Hey, this is when we induce. I thought that was the actual due date.
That's like, well, they call an official due date when you start your pregnancy.
Sure.
So that was the 6th. Like the 9th was that other day.
So we can find the exact day of consummation here. We go back
let's do that math.
Can you
go back? Let's go back exactly 40 weeks.
Can you do that?
40 weeks from the.
I don't think that's how that works, though.
I mean, it's pretty dang close.
All right, go ahead. I'll try to remember if anything.
I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah, let's look this day up, Billy.
January 7th, January 7th. That would have been
Packers and Cowboys.
No, because that would only be like 7 months. So it'd have to be into November.
All right, let's see. It's like.
I mean, it was a Sunday Packers game, November 5th into November 6th.
Wait a minute. November 5th Packers game.
Armin, open your Cozy account. Let's find out what you and Laura did that night.
I don't have a Cozy account. I don't do Cozy.
More importantly, it wasn't the bye week.
Wait,
so
November,
that's why I would have thought it would have been easy.
But hold on, November. Isn't
I got to schedule it out like
isn't that when your anniversary is, Armin?
October 2nd.
Okay, so it didn't happen on the old anniversary.
Because that would have been 10 months, right?
What do you think? I'm like a once a month kind of guy. Is that what you?
Armin, when's your birthday again?
August 7th. It's coming up.
That's
so
not close.
You get a time. You get August. You get October. Is there anything in November that you would? Do the baby for?
No, we cracked the code, John.
World Series.
We cracked the code. November 5th. 20-3 Packers win over the LA Rams.
See what I'm saying?
Which snapped the 5-game losing streak and the 42 days of darkness.
Armin's having a baby because the Packers won.
I came in there.
Gotta
like
be
Marvin
Jordan.
Gaye.
You gotta name it Jordan.
Armin said
Marvin
to Laura,
Gaye. Yeah.
Armin said to Laura, "Hey, you want to?"
What's that?
Not till the Packers win again. I can't do it while they're losing.
What's that one mean?
Hey,
you walk
guess
in.
what, girl? They won.
On.
I'll be home after OT.
We wrapped up Packers
have
OT
the wine
early that
flowing
day
and
too.
the candles lit.
Can't remember.
Wow.
Hey,
Because I think that was a flyer. That was the Brett Rippon game. So that would have been a little bit quicker exit for us, I think, too.
That was a weird game, too. That was kind of a weird one. I remember thinking, all right, we got to win finally. Break 8, post-game break 9, texting her break 10. We're getting close.
John, so I actually feel partially responsible here. Noon, boom. Probably 7:30, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then here we go. Jordan Sarian welcomes into the world 9 months later.
Walking in right into the house like that.
That's amazing.
I actually have no idea. I don't know if it works
Jordan
like that.
Leona Sarian.
Good for you.
No. This is not a real thing. What did you say, Jordana?
Jordan Leona Sarian.
Leona, that's a perfect one. That's
Jordan,
perfect.
Jordan goes both ways now.
Leona's not bad. Leona's not bad. Leona is like Leona Lewis. Remember?
No, I don't.
Yeah, Bleeding Love. She had a big hit.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good tune.
We know the middle name's going to.
Well, you don't know what's going to happen.
Some kind of Leon.
Yeah, nice try. You don't know what's going to happen. And by the way, if you just
tuned
in, nothing happened.
I just saw your eyes, and your eyes never lie.
Yeah, right.
You're not a good liar.
Yeah, right. Well, that's true. I didn't lie though.
Dude, that is priceless. Because
nothing happened yet if you're just tuning in.
No, nothing happened yet. However, it has been narrowed down to, let's be honest, we've cracked the code here. Armin Sarian, thanks to the Packers' 20-3 win over the LA Rams November 5th, breaking their 5-game losing streak. 42 days of darkness, 42 days of real darkness. You want to talk about real darkness?
That was a tough month,
That's
man.
a real pilgrimage that you made. Through that desert. We're proud of you, though.
I appreciate that. That was a tough month.
Was it true? Did you get smarter and Laura got a little
like in Seinfeld? Like in Seinfeld?
Is that theory correct?
Don't know, John, because
big weekend for Seinfeld.
Like,
man, you were on fire those 5 weeks on the radio, though, Armin. You didn't miss a button on the board. The P drive was working again. The microphone never broke one time. Nobody had any audio issues.
Oh, those are good days.
And then all of a sudden, November 6th, worst day of radio in 9 to noon history.
No issues on the network.
Nick from Grafton said that was no daylight savings then.
So you got an extra. You lost an hour.
No, fall back. We gained an hour.
Oh,
I had extra time.
You did.
I had extra time.
No way you were lasting an hour. No way that full hour was.
Oh, no way. Are you kidding me? No way.
No chance. 414-799-1973. Well, what a rousing start. Whenever I started with Let's Marvin Gaye and Get It On, I didn't actually anticipate that was a part of the opening segment. However, might be one of our best ones coming up yet, because sports do this.
That's what it does.
Sports bring people together. Really, I mean, all you need is love, John Kuhn. Luckily, the Packers got a lot of Jordan Love. They got a lot of love to go around. And I mean, if indeed a 9-8 season and snapping a 5-game losing streak is able to bring a life into the world, I wonder how many different love babies we're going to start seeing in the middle of October, thanks to that playoff run and into year number 2 of Jordan Love under center for the Green Bay Packers.
I heard this a long time ago. You guys tell me if you heard the same thing, that when the Packers won in 97, that there was a big spike in the birth rate 9 months later.
I totally believe it. I totally believe it. Packer fans have been waiting for that for a long, long time. I mean, I was 12 when it happened, so I remember the feeling around it. Of course, it remains my favorite team of all time. 96
super
Packers.
Unofficial number for me, but I just know that the enrollment of our sophomore class in high school when I was a senior was just through the roof. It almost doubled.
Yeah, it was honestly, no pun intended.
Decent amount of Bretts in that group.
Felt like a rebirth as Packer fans. I mean, long time people have been waiting for that. Slogging, and you hear it from Tim Scott all the time. You didn't live through the 70s and the 80s.
You're not a Packer fan unless you went through the 80s.
But that was a really,
just imagine growing up through the 70s and 80s, and then that's your consummating moment. That's your crowning achievement. That's your time. Yeah, it was absolutely a time to shine.
It was something special. Now, it was 29 years, I believe, since they had been to the Super Bowl that year. And that feels like a long time. It feels like eras. But then I feel like, you wait through that time now, and it just feels, I guess maybe because you're older, it feels different. I mean, the Packers hadn't been there, John, 14 years, since you were there. So it feels like that's half of that time. So have we been waiting that long? Are we in this type of drought again?
So in 2010, we had a lot of guys on the team were popping out kids. Well, the guys weren't, but there were a lot of babies born on the team.
It's a young team, right?
We joked about on that team, hey, the way to get to a Super Bowl is to, have some success in other places.
I like that.
Sure.
So 2014, guys were trying like crazy. I mean, I was born in April 2015. I mean, I'm not kidding here. I mean, people were trying to bring that juju back to the ball club.
Right.
That's the superstition we need. I love that running through the club. I love that running through the locker room. Fellas, we're all winning. With a capital W.
Let's spur this thing together.
Jordan loves engaged now. And I don't know when the mayor, if they've set a date and all that stuff, but maybe that'll happen again. Maybe that'll be the key for this group.
Matt in Milwaukee has to be named Jordan Keston. Well, Keston, good weekend.
But I'm not gonna. You don't name someone just because they made it back up and they got called up again.
Well, that is your guy.
I'm happy for Keston. I've been following him because everyone else just threw him in the trash and forgot about him. I haven't, but that would be a lot.
So how's he been doing?
That'd be a lot. Well, let's see. He got called up to the Angels.
You've been following him now
because everyone called
the Angels at a homer.
Well, everyone called me crazy, but they didn't tweet me when he was 1 for 3 and then he hit a ding dong, right? Didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he hit a dinger? Right? Yeah, that's why I thought I saw it right.
Well, and the other part is nobody also seems to be getting back at you after the Christian Yelich news of him starting the All-Star game. Now, I don't know how much this was touched on Friday as we are all back in the saddle once again. Armin was working through the holiday weekend. John and I returning after a couple of days off. Yelich, John, had grinded through 2 of the tougher years that I can really think of for a face of the franchise member of one of our teams here in Milwaukee, then have a resurgent start to the season, deal with the back injury like it has for a while now for him. However, yesterday, I believe 42nd consecutive start for Christian Yelich since coming off of the IL with the back injury. And check the notes here in the last week and a half. He is on absolute fire. Power starts to come back. 3 homers in the last couple of days.
5 games, yeah.
He is really starting to put it together. And John, that's a dude that Armin talks about a watch list. Christian Yelich started Brewers fans' watch lists for the last couple of years.
We didn't have a watch list until Christian Yelich.
That was the
It's
watch
amazing.
list.
That was the initial watch list.
That was the watch list. It started there and it continued on. But
that was the birthplace.
I gotta say, I mean, now it wasn't all Brewers fans. There were a lot that were still supporting him. But how many times did we hear just trade him, just cut him, just DFA him? How many times did we hear that the last couple of years?
Yeah, there were a few of that.
And he's back. He made it all the way back to the All-Star game. Kind of a Don Quixote journey for him. Look up the play if you've never seen the Man of La Mancha, Don Quixote. Yeah, he was lost in the wilderness. Something like that. Lost in the wilderness.
Can you even spell that?
Not even.
I think it's Q.
Is that French?
Starts with
X-I Quixote.
C.
Anyway, how do you like me now? Christian Yelich all the way back as an MLB All-Star. Pretty amazing stuff.
Are you talking about a Spanish novel?
Yeah. It was Man of La Mancha, wasn't it?
Because we've read that.
Hell?
I don't know.
Billy and I have even heard of that.
It was originally published in 2 parts. All right, there's your problem. No chance I'm reading 2 parts of something. Don Quixote, Quixote. Is that what you're talking about here?
Don Quixote. Yeah, it was like
an
a guy.
epic Spanish novel.
Okay, Don Quixote.
Considered a founding work of Western literature.
Are you saying Don Quixote?
No, not Don.
Don Space Quixote. I feel like I'm at Moe's Tavern right now and you're ranking me.
No, it's not Donkey. No, maybe I'm mixing up my alliterated figures. I need Paul from Grafton. Paul,
oh my god!
If you're out there, please call us. Did I mix up my alliterated figures? Okay, Don Quixote.
It sounds like he says Don Quixote every single time.
Yep, it does sound like that. Dad brain kicking in early for you. We're proud of you.
A guy who was searching back for he was back, lost in the wilderness. He was on this journey, this search for something. Everyone thought he was crazy that he could find it and something like that.
So you didn't actually read the book. You're just going off of things that you've heard.
Oh, I've never read it. No, absolutely not. Never did. I think my mom knew all about it. She was in
a movie about
that. There was it's like a play, Man of La Mancha. It's a play. And sometimes schools do the play and I don't know. I don't even know if that's a good awesome. that's a good reference at all. But anyway,
but it's a reference and it happened.
Yelich all the way back. All the way back. Improved this year, and we're happy to see it. He did it last year. Really, it started last year. He had a turnaround year, and what was important for me was to see the power start to come back this last couple of weeks. This last week, I'd say,
yeah.
Because when he's been banged up with the back and stuff, he usually produces singles and walks still, but it's that power, that next level, that really makes Yelich, when he's Yelich, special. So he's been doing that. 3 homers in the last 5 games. I got to say really quick, Keston doesn't have a homer. We said that. I don't want to be wrong about it.
Misinformation program.
He is 3 out of 8. So really good job since he's come up.
And also, I believe 9 months back would be October. But, why Brandon and Greendale, why let facts get in the way of a good story here on 9 to Noon? Because that's how we start up here. Armin Sarian is firing it back up, as this will be the final day for a couple of weeks as him and Lara welcome their first child into the world. We are super happy for them. And we will obviously have some drop-ins, I imagine, from Armin on the text line over the next couple of weeks. But your drop-ins on the text line going through all day long at 414-799-1973. We'll talk about that All-Star game. Christian Yelich going, so will William Contreras. They will both start. They will be the first Brewers to start an All-Star game together in the field since 2014. Good trivia question as to a couple of the guys that started that All-Star game for the Brewers. But did they get snubbed in other places? We'll discuss that one. And Giannis making a hypocrite out of me. I'm excited to get into this on the other side, fellas. Giannis into the Olympics with Greece, laughing in the face when I said, yeah, listen, we can all want things. He can want to play in the Olympics, John Kuhn. Sure enough, he wanted it real bad. Tears flowing down his face yesterday on the bench and shutting my mouth real quick. And now I'm going to make a little bit of a 180. And I'm excited about it coming up on the other side. 414-799-1973. We got some giveaway talk to get into here today. We have an NFL team with a rummage sale that if the Green Bay Packers did this, a line out the door. We'll tell you this one as well as we get on and get off and running here on 9 to Noon. Kuhn, Billy, and Armin starting up with you on the NicolateLaw.com talking text line 414-799-1973. Let's get it going here on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Kuhn, Billy, and Armin skating at full strength for one more day. Well wishes on the NicolaitLaw.com talking text line for our guy Armin Sarin as he walks into fatherhood this week. We are fired up for you.
Hopefully everything goes well. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
So when can we expect you to announce the name and everything on the Steve Zabin show this week?
That's good. That's good. That was funny.
Thursday or Friday?
That was a good one.
Wednesday morning? Yeah, okay.
I need the engagement. So look for a tweet at Armin Sarian.
Well,
I need the engagement.
I am getting notifications now.
I'm farming them out. I'm farming engagement. What was that, Billy?
I'm getting the notifications after you yelled at us on the air last week. You guys got to be getting notified on my tweets. So I said, okay, sweet. I guess I'll get notified then. I'll
try and remember to text you guys.
I haven't seen an Armin Sarian tweet pop up on my feed, and I follow you, Armin.
I know.
Try to text us. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I haven't seen it pop up in fact, you just do this.
The algorithm's messed up.
I want to see all your tweets. Just do this. Just when you tweet something out,
screenshot it.
Or send it to me. Just send me the tweet.
I don't want to be that guy. Who sends their own tweet to somebody?
I'm asking you.
Did you see my tweet last night?
Yeah, there's one host. I do, though. I will say I love now getting the X notification. Like some of our listeners do that. We're live on X each and every day. If you watch the show at the Game MKE on X or on YouTube, 97.3 The Game, appreciate it. You can get notified when the show goes live.
That part's
now
good.
When I get the notification and it's an Armin Sarian tweet, John, I get fired up. Like it was one of the only things randomly throughout the weekend because I was in an area where there was zero cell service.
Well, that's a good feeling, isn't it? Oh man, it's scary at first, but then it's good.
Yeah, I finally warmed up to it after about day 2, right, where it became more freeing instead of more nerve-wracking that I didn't have any service.
Because you were thinking I didn't download all my podcasts to listen to.
I had nothing to listen to.
Yeah, Club Shay and all those.
Yeah,
things.
I needed some positional breakdowns 2 weeks away from training camp opening up, right? I needed some of that stuff. However, it was a beautiful feeling to just be free. Then get the notification. Armin Sarian has tweeted, all right, back in the saddle again. What do we get? So it's a nice little thing to be able to be treated to. And one of those tweets this weekend, actually, I should say a series of them at Armin Sarian. He's at Kuhn J30. I'm at Bill Schmidt Radio. Was talking about Giannis qualifying for the Olympics. Images and the videos, guys, coming out yesterday of him on the bench after their victory over Croatia, who ousted and blocked them from making the Olympics the last time they had a chance to qualify, beating them in the last qualification game.
And this is a proud, Croatia has been struggling internationally basketball-wise for a while, but this is a proud nation basketball-wise. I mean, the Croatian team has a long legacy, a long history. I know Dario Saric is still on that team, so that was a big win for Greece. There was no sense that there was going to be a walkthrough in any sense, but yeah.
Well, I didn't think they were going to have a chance to get there. However, Giannis rolls through, and John, this is what I get for doubting Giannis. This is what I get for putting limits on what this young man is about to do. And were his performances overly dominant? I'll be honest with you, I didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of it, but the numbers are pretty amazing. You saw him against Slovenia, it sounded like, out-dueling late Luka. Many people were firing that text off and that message off.
Barbecue chicken, as the kids say. He made Luka barbecue chicken. Is that the right term?
Might be. But, John, I was the one that I don't like him doing this. I definitely don't like it, especially after he missed the entire postseason. But dang, now that he's in the Olympics, I'm going to have trouble cheering against him because I'm just predispositioned to want good things to happen to this young man. And it clearly means so much more to him than I could really fully imagine as to qualifying Greece for the Olympics.
I remember a time about 6 weeks ago, we were talking about Giannis coming back from the injury, and he was missing more time than we had anticipated. And how long was this soleus strain going to be hindering him?
Oh, yeah.
And how much of a risk would it be for him to play? Even at 80%, does he need to be 100%? And I posed the question, well, how are you going to feel if he plays in the Olympics?
We can all want things.
We're here now. He's going to play in the Olympics. And I'll say this, and I said this way back then, man, these guys love this. They absolutely live for this. This is an incredible honor. And for Giannis, it's bigger than that. It's already an accomplishment. This is the first time Greece has been in the Olympics since 2008.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely root for Giannis and Greece to win every game that's not played against the USA. And even then, I will have a little sneaky feeling on the inside every time Giannis does something against Team USA, like, yeah, that guy's ours. Yeah,
that's our dude.
He's awesome. Not to mention the fact that he was in tears on the bench afterwards. You could tell the emotion, how much this meant, this feeling for him to help lead this team to this great accomplishment. And the fact that their jerseys say Hellas on it.
Yeah.
It's as cool as you could get. I mean, these guys are awesome, and I will be rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean, and when I got the notification that he pulled up lame and was working off something maybe on his knee, or immediately my heart just drops. Like, that's the only thing.
Sure.
I'm just so nervous.
I get it
that you miss time playing for the Bucks because of playing in international competition. But then you understand the gravity of what them qualifying ultimately means. And this was also a part of Jim Osarski's piece yesterday when they secured the spot. And they were in the Olympics in 2008. In 2004, they were an automatic entrant because they were the host country.
Right.
Other than that, 1952, 1996, 2008. Only time they have qualified for the sport of men's basketball. They've never medaled in it.
Not a heritage-laden country for basketball.
But Armin, also, since 1928, Greece, the first country to walk in the procession of the nations to open the games in honor of their ancient history. Giannis, if he is the flag bearer,
which he should be,
will be the first person to walk in the procession of the opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympics.
Yeah, that's incredible. I don't care who you are. That means a lot. Okay. And if it doesn't mean a lot to you, it clearly means a lot to him. So I think it's pretty impressive. I think it's amazing. I've been on record this whole time. You know, I've gone back and forth with Trey about this a lot of times, that I'm 100% on board with him playing the Olympics. If it means a lot to him, as a Bucks fan and a Giannis fan, it should mean a lot to me. I'm never playing gatekeeping as a fan. I don't like doing that. I try and make sure I resist doing that, but this is the closest I will come to that line of gatekeeping, where I said, if you really, really were cheering against Giannis and really didn't care about something that he clearly cared about, as the tears were flowing down his face when his country qualified, then you are just looking at Giannis as a mercenary, and I don't like that. I don't like that, because Giannis, yes, the Bucks pay him. Yes, the Bucks are paying his salary, $50 million, but you're not paying that. If you really care about the owner's money that much, I'm happy for you. But Giannis is putting his heart and soul into playing for the Bucks as much as he plays for Greece.
Armin,
so he's not playing hard for us. Yeah, John.
What do you say about people that I cheer for the team, not the player?
Oh, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, if you
this is a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk. But John,
risk.
Everything he does in the offseason then becomes a risk. Every regular season game becomes a risk, because we know that doesn't matter to fans. What matters is the playoffs. So then why aren't we just shutting him down for the whole regular season? It's not realistic. It's not realistic.
That's part of the salary.
But it's not realistic for him for us to think he's not going to also play in the offseason, right?
The Bucks pay him for 82 regular season games plus the playoffs.
And I say he performs. Okay, I say he performs. I say he gives it his all the time. He doesn't. Yes, he's been injured. Okay, that's beyond his control to some extent, right? I mean, you saw. I don't know if you read over the weekend.
If he gets injured in the Olympics, will you second guess your comment?
No, because you can get injured doing anything in basketball. He can get injured. It's unfortunate. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna sit there and say he shouldn't have played, because you might get hurt. All these guys are playing international. Are Dallas fans saying that about Luka? Come on, like half of the team.
No, they're just saying that he is hurt.
Okay.
And again, if I'm a Dallas fan, and I understand
Durant's playing, all these guys are playing, right?
Right, but they also finished the postseason.
I understand.
Right,
that.
like I mean, like that's the other part. If I'm a Dallas fan, I'm not loving the fact that Luka went over there right after playing into the finals, and he was clearly hurt, right? Like clearly hampered. Like I don't love that deal. However, I do admit when I'm wrong. And I was wrong on just how much this impacts Giannis and how I would feel about it in the midst of it, right? Like, I thought that there would be a moment in the middle of each game where I'm looking at the scoreboard saying, come on now, let's go, Slovenia. Finish these guys off so we don't have to worry about him going back out here again. But I was wrong. Like a complete 180. I'm for it. I like it. I still am nervous that he's going to get hurt.
I'm nervous too. I don't want him to get hurt. Of course, you're nervous about it.
And I understand.
But that
doesn't mean I want him to stop playing.
Athletes aren't. Athletes are
very true.
Athletes are not nervous about getting hurt, because guess what?
You can't play like that.
When you start playing afraid of getting hurt, that's when injuries happen. And I am reminded of a text by the UWGB men's coach Doug Gottlieb just 2 years ago.
Now we're talking.
He said, Hoopers hoop. They have an indoor ball. They have an outdoor ball. They have an indoor pair of shoes. They have an outdoor pair of shoes. And they always have something to throw on so they can throw down at any point in time. That's what this is. Hoopers hoop. And this is one of the biggest stages in all the world, the Olympics. You got the NBA finals and you got the Olympics, and there's nothing bigger than either of them. And to do that accomplishment for your country, to just get into the Olympics for the first time since 2008, that's an enormous accomplishment that his country gets to celebrate with him.
The other part of it, John, and this was brought up by Miran Fader, who wrote the biography on Giannis, which is a fantastic read for those that can read 450 pages and have read all of it. I've read different excerpts of it.
Right, I'm not finished with it yet either.
I've not finished the whole thing, but I've definitely read excerpts of it every single time that it pops up. And she posted one when they qualified yesterday, speaking to Giannis wanting to feel as Greek as the white Greek players that are there, right? No African-American has ever led them in the procession of the countries. So he would be the first African-American to do that in Greece. He had done it, and you wore the flag over himself when they had played in one international tournament. And it was just like, hey, we need somebody to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely going to do it. So understanding how much that personally means to him is just another layer to it, right? Like his journey, everybody's journey is different. Everybody's affiliation with USA basketball will be different. Will be different for, Buddy Hield in the Bahamas, where he's saying, dude, the refs just took that opportunity away from us. Or like Joel Embiid, who could be playing for 3 other countries and decides to play on just the best team. Sure. Giannis decides to take the one that he feels most affiliated to, has wanted to be a part of, and wanted to feel as a part of throughout this. And that's really admirable.
And that's awesome too, because he's taken this country to a height they haven't been to in 16 years.
Yeah. And before that, a long time.
And here's the deal. That's where he feels that connection with his home country. And he brought them to a level they hadn't been to in a very long time. Very similar to what he did here in Milwaukee with the basketball team that hadn't been risen to their heights before.
Exactly, John.
And to see that type of loyalty to his home country makes me feel even better about him being loyal to the Milwaukee Bucks going forward in years to come.
All the traits that we love
about,
a
nice layer of it.
Exactly. All the traits that we love about Giannis, we espouse about him. Loyalty, the humbleness, the passion, the dedication to a goal, trying to overcome adversity when people said you couldn't, playing for more than just money, playing for civic pride. All those things that we've always espoused that we love about Giannis is what are on display here when he plays for Greece. And then all of a sudden Bucks fans are telling me that we shouldn't want those things for him. That just because he makes money, a lot of money playing for the Bucks. That's crazy. If he didn't show 1 ounce of that as a Buck, I think you have a point, but he never ever has done that. He's never done that. He's the only guy he's the only guy that's played hard in the All-Star game in the last 10 years. I mean, really, he's the only.
Yeah, they haven't liked it either.
They don't like. I mean, he's cut different. He's one of one. He's our guy, and because of that, he's doing the same thing for Greece. It matters to him. Billy, what did we love last when he said that? What was the podcast you did last offseason? It's not about the lobsters.
With Ross Geiger, the old video guy. Yeah,
you and I were saying for a month, it's not about the lobsters. He said it's got to be more than just living well, and making money and living a luxury life. It's got to be about something else, and clearly this was. He's not getting paid 1 cent to play for Greece, and tears were flowing down his face. You got to love that, in my opinion.
And
I understand. I don't want him to get hurt. I'm nervous about it too. We're praying that doesn't happen, just like I do when
keep his minutes down.
But what can you do? What can you do? I'm not going to ask him not to do something that means a lot to him and not to play. I would never want him to not do something that he feels that important.
Well, okay. So now you say you would never want him to not play. He's playing. That one's answered, and clearly he loves it and wants to play. Now the question is, do you hope he has success and plays more?
That's the next question.
Yeah,
that's the next part of this.
Okay, so what did Larry Bird say in the All-Star game coaching in the Last Dance? We're here. We might as well win the thing. He's there now. Right. I'm not going to, I mean,
It's gonna be a tough one. They got a really tough group from what I very little know about international basketball.
No, you're right. They got Spain. There's a bunch of, I mean,
they'll play Canada on
Canada's
July 27th, who's one of the headliners, team that beat USA last year, or the last time in international play.
Advance. Right. They might not advance.
They'll play Spain on the 30th and Australia on the 2nd. Australia also a pretty good basketball country as well. So they got some difficult teams to be able to go through. But John, that's the tough thing. Like, as it's happening, I was struggling as somebody that wanted him off the floor for Greece as soon as possible. Once I watch him on the basketball floor and I see him out there, it's hard for me to not want him to do good things.
Right.
It's hard for me to not want to watch and see, oh, there's Giannis going cross court in 4 dribbles and slamming down, because that's what I expect to be able to watch when he's playing. And JB in the 920 brings up an interesting point on the talking text line here. When you hear what Dame did last year, he goes, I don't want him to get hurt either, but I'm more okay with this rather than Dame not even working out last year because he doesn't want to get hurt before he gets traded. Like Klay Thompson situations where you get hurt in an empty gym rehabbing or getting ready for the offseason, or getting, ready for the season in the offseason, they do happen, right? I mean, like they do happen. However, basketball is just one of the more rare sports where, John, in football, it's difficult to think that you're running 7-on-7s all season long, right? It's hard to think that you're working on this all throughout. But if you're a basketball player, the only way to get better is by playing threes, shooting, or running 5-on-5. So I would assume, I guess he's running 5-on-5s here in Milwaukee if he wouldn't be doing this.
And, another thing to this is really Giannis is just one of those guys that's going to go out there and give his all in everything that he does. Everything that he does. And to that last texter, there's a difference between the risk that Dame had and the risk that Giannis had. You're okay with Giannis risking now that his bag is secured, but you're not okay with Dame not risking when his bag wasn't secured at the time, before there was a trade. These guys got to look out for themselves in those moments when they are looking for a trade, or are looking to be sent to a competitor, or are looking for a big contract. That I understand immensely. That and yes, that was a setback and it pushed him back. And that one hurt the team. But that one hurt the team because he wasn't in shape. This one would hurt the team if there's an injury.
Right.
I mean, they're completely different scenarios. And I support both of them in both the decisions.
Now, that being said, if so happened he played USA, I'm not cheering for Greece, right?
That's why I said one game. There's one game I want to root for Giannis.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's just the way it is, right? I had a buddy that used to get so mad at me. We went to Marquette together, and we were both Bucks fans, but I was a little more so than him. He was so mad at me that I wouldn't cheer for the Heat once Wade got to the Heat. He's like, the Heat should be your favorite team. Dwayne Wade did more for you. I'm like, I'm a Bucks fan. I love Dwayne Wade. I want him to succeed, but I'm a Bucks fan. He's not wearing a Bucks jersey.
Did you buy some Converse?
Those sweet blue
you bought the sweet blue ones.
The first edition, the blue and gold colorway was hard to get. I actually couldn't get them.
I think I got the 3s.
He had some nice Converse early on.
He had some good Converse early on. Then they just got kind of wild.
Then he dipped. Then
he left and made sense. That was a good decision.
If you're on hold, hang on. We got text. We got some reaction on this. Hang on.
414-799-1973. Armin said, let me do my job. You're doing a great job on your final day. I mean, talk about running through the tape here for Armin Sarian. We love it. John Coons right there. I'm Billy Schmidt. You're on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. It's 9 to noon on the Game.
Yeah, Matt.
9 to noon on the game. Inside the Iron Jock Studios, ironjoc.com. If you're interested, Iron Jock right now, the new men's and women's joggers are in. Or for those of us who don't really jog, hand raised in there.
Well, you don't have to jog in.
Just a cool sweatpants.
Yeah, let's just call them your new favorite sweatpants,
Yeah,
because that's the right way of going through it. And joggers have strangely become sweatpants that people are very acceptable walking out in.
People are wearing them on dates now.
Joggers were the original like sweatpant way back in the day, and then they faded away. And then they said, "Hey, we got to come up with this cool name for these sweatpants that get tighter down around the ankles.
Mhm.
They look like regular pants.
That look like maternity pants.
And we're going to call them joggers.
Yeah.
Because heck, people want to act like they work out even if they don't. So here's a jogger pant for you. And this is the new cool pant because it's called a jogger.
Are
Yeah.
joggers now what like wind pants were in the 90s, John? Remember everyone had to have wind pants. You know, I had all kinds of wind pants when I was like in middle school and high school. And
Yeah, but I don't think you were wearing wind pants in a professional setting.
That's
Like
the-
people are wearing
that's it.
joggers
Good
any day
point.
of the week, and
Good
it's
10
okay.
to 15 years from now, wind pants will come back and they will be worn in a professional setting.
well, I'll be prepared for it. Let me tell you, wind jackets, wind suits.
Oh, you're gonna be fired
But
up.
right now it's the joggers.
Zuba's made
Absolutely.
a remarkable return to prominence a couple of years ago.
Once again, not wearing them in a meeting, business meeting though.
Yes and no.
Okay, so let's not take it that far. Who's wearing joggers in a business meeting other than radio personalities?
Oh, okay, good point. Well, what if it's a Zoom and you're only at half the
Well, then I'm not wearing pants. Shorts. Come on. If
Mesh
it's-
shorts.
Yeah, if it's a Zoom call, there's a very, very fine line to see if I'm
Fair
wearing
enough.
pants.
No, fair enough. Yeah, these are some nice looking pants though. I saw Mr. Hansen.
Oh,
wear
you
that
saw him.
at Summerfest. He was wearing them. I think.
Great throwback to the read. Now you can wear them day after day after day after day, and they will not smell. Now through July 21st, when you buy $65 or more, use promo code 25SUMMER. Iron Jock takes 25% off your entire purchase. Go to ironjock.com for more details. ironjoc.com. That sounds good. I mean, I'm interested. I like a good pair of sweatpants. You guys know me. I'm as comfortable as you can possibly be in the attire. I'm going to take it as laxed as possible. Now, Armin's not laxed when you see different texts come in.
I'm going at everybody. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be antagonistic, guys, but I've got to just say my piece.
What about here when the 262 fires off a
Okay.
series of messages that says, the group of y'all are not athletes. Your job is to convey sports information to fans. Hello? Why can't you take the view of the fan? The fan being the only reason anyone anywhere ever secures the bag as an athlete.
All right.
If he can't be on the floor for the Bucks when needed, yes, take back a portion of his pay when he's endangering his health.
All right. I want to respond to the first thing there. There's some of us that are athletes on here. Okay. So
Yeah.
Armin played tennis for like
Well,
2
no,
years.
that
I
are
mean,
not athletes
I mean,
here.
as far as I know, you guys were. I mean, John, you're a well-known athlete. I
Yeah,
would
you
say.
use athlete very, very loosely when you talk about me playing Division III football. I appreciate it, but yes, let's use that term very loosely.
And the opinion of the fans, the opinion of you is not the opinion of all fans. You might.
There's a
have that
lot of
opinion.
fans on here. There are a lot of fans on the talking text line right now. They're like, yeah, I'm nervous Giannis is going to get hurt, but I really want to see him do well. There's
Right.
a lot of that on here.
And it's different than do you believe he should not play? Being nervous if he's hurt is. I mean, I'm nervous too about it. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
But it doesn't mean I'm going to tell him I don't believe he's doing the right thing.
the part of it for me that why I thought this instance for him to play overseas was not a good look was because he was completely unavailable for the playoffs, right? Like when you don't play it for a full month, I didn't think that was a great look. However, here I am sitting here with him now qualified for the Olympics after playing 3 really good games, sitting out the warm-up games, which I appreciated, somewhat of a managing situation. It's clear that they're not trying to overload him, but there's only one way he's going to play. He's going to play balls to the walls all day long. He only knows how to go 110%.
Absolutely.
So in that instance, at this point, hey, I'm a fan of Giannis, right? Like I am a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks first and foremost. But damn, 1B, I'm a fan of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I love the guy. I love the person. I love the athlete. And John, just like you said, once he's on the floor, it's just too difficult for me to not see, yeah, there's risk. But you know what? There's risk everywhere. So if this is the situation that we're in, time and place, I'm going to be in this moment. I'm going to cheer for my man to be able to run with Greece. Take out Canada. Who likes Canada? Take that shit,
Here we
Gilgeous
go.
Alexander. Your guy's MVP is not good as ours.
Here we go again about Canada.
Yeah, take
we
that,
go again.
Leaf.
I just, it's amazing to me that, and the voice of the fan, the thought of the fan's opinion is all mixed up because we got every fan's opinion on here.
Yes.
And it goes as far as Giannis should be cut for this too. And there's only one or two of those. Two is I hope Giannis wins the whole damn thing and shoves it in everybody's faces. So yeah, there's a lot of different fan opinions on here. My opinion is simply this. When I see a guy who does everything the right way, I have yet to really see him do anything the wrong way. Yeah. Can you think of one thing? Was it bad optics when he went to go get that basketball from the Pacers locker room? Was that like the worst we've ever seen?
I mean, maybe the ladder for some people didn't bother me. The ladder deal.
The ladder could have potentially been something that was maybe a little bit emotional in the moment, but there is nothing. A guy who does everything the right way and so passionately wants to do this for his home country. I could never tell him, no, I don't want you doing that.
Yeah, and Paul from New Berlin, is it a bad look for the Bucks front office to complain if he plays in the Olympics? Giannis putting the Bucks franchise in a bad spot. If he gets hurt, fans would complain, why did the Bucks let him play? And the fans would also complain if they didn't allow him to play for his country. It's a no-win situation for the Bucks. Giannis is obviously in charge of the Bucks front office. Okay, the last sentence right there, I think this is like item 54 on the list of ways that you see that Giannis has his fingerprints all over what the Bucks operations
are. Good
point. Like, this is not the one where I say, damn, he's holding the organization to feet to the fire. I think we could look at the coaching decisions more than that one, John.
And this is our guy, right? Show me another player that has decided not to play in the. I can't think of one.
Saying. No,
give me a player in the NBA right now that's not playing in the Olympics because of risk of injury. Just show me one.
There aren't many unless they're in a current injury. There aren't many. I don't think there are any. All these guys are playing internationally, which would make it even a worse look for the Bucks if they let him play. It'd be an unusually draconian move and restricted move that I'm sure he'd be upset about. And I don't blame him if he was. He has a right to do this. Like, that's crazy. He fulfills his obligation to the Bucks, and he's fulfilling his international obligations that he feels he has to fulfill. There's nothing wrong with that.
Lastly, there was a text a little bit ago. I had a problem with Dame not working out and training the way he needed to train.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if Giannis wasn't playing basketball for Greece, he's going to be training and playing basketball in a gym with somebody, with some people, and we're just not going to see it. Now we're just going to see it and hear about it. That's the only difference.
Also, I did get to see that little sped up free throw motion.
Yeah,
I like that.
Let's do that.
Let's do that in games.
Well, I'm good with that.
Hey, if we pick up a quicker motion at the free throw line that doesn't incite opposing fans to start counting while he's at the foul line, thanks, Olympics. I mean, that's a win. That's a win in our column. 414-799-1973. The Mike Dunleavy tackle, somebody saying is the wrong look. The arborist. That
was the best look ever.
Yeah. Arborist. That's somebody that doesn't really love Mike Dunleavy. I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
Are you kidding me?
That made me as much of a fan of Giannis as anything. But I also like professional wrestling.
I remember being in that building for that game.
In that arena, it was electrifying when he does that down 42.
We're down 40 or 50. And I said, man, Giannis really is ride or die. I said that was a seminal moment in Bucks history.
Bucks score like 31 points in the first 3 quarters. Terrible. Giannis is like, I'm out of here, dude.
Tony Snell was cooking us.
Taking this guy out. 414-799-1973. An NFL team doing a rummage sale of televisions. How long of a line would they have at 1265? We'll get into this one. And a rock star playing at American Family Field this week. Are there still main attraction athletes? Is Paul Skeens one of them? We'll discuss it. It's 9 to noon coming up on the Game. Whoa. I didn't realize that we were going to be bumping it like this today on a Monday. I mean, I know we started out, John Kuhn, with Let's Marvin Gaye and Get It On, as the great poet would say.
I did forget some of those lyrics, yes.
Hour 2 with the Candy Shop. I don't know when the last time everyone hears this song. There's a seminal moment, though, for individuals of my age bracket, turning 30 this year.
Way to turn it down?
Well, no, where this song probably taught you a certain amount of things about life.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I was going into 4th grade.
Yeah, it's probably 4th grade.
Which was that was human growth and development year.
Big year.
Right. So was that's a big year. That's a big after school class for us, at least for like 3 or 4 nights where, the dads come in, sit down with the sons. All right, everybody flip to page 82. Let's get this out of the way right away. That's what that is. Now let's go to page 84. That's what that is. All right, now let's move on and let's start learning some stuff. But Candy Shop taught you a whole lot of things early on.
Sure. I mean, that was it right there, I guess. Yeah. This was like high school for me, so it wasn't the same.
When was the last time you heard that song?
Candy Shop? I must have been I have no idea when the last time I heard it. I can't really remember. It hasn't been that long, but
yesterday.
You heard it yesterday?
Or pardon me, Saturday.
Okay.
At Pickles Pub and Grill in, I believe, Hazelhurst, Wisconsin.
Whoa. Was it dive bar review here?
I was about to go in for a dive bar review. My return to the dive bar review.
Pickles.
We
went to
called Pickles.
Oh my gosh. I missed my chance.
Couldn't sit down. Hour wait. Place was jam-packed. 4 tables, 1 circular bar, 50-cent candy shop bumping when you walk in.
Wow.
Now, I mean, if that doesn't sound like an electrifying dive bar review to get back to, I'm going to have to hit that place one of these times because I walked in. There was no chance we were going to be able to. We had the little one, John, and I do believe, I don't know if there's, a rating system if you bring the children on the dive bar review, if it's not allowed at a certain spot or what. However, you walk in, that's setting a certain tenor. That's setting a certain mood that it didn't necessarily feel like a place to wait an hour to then fire in. But for my situation this weekend where I had no service, it was one of the only places where I was able to get any cell service. I'm like, I could sit down and wait. I'll chase the little guy around, play baseball in the side of the bar, wait an hour or so.
Exactly.
Needed it, but it didn't work out.
Man, that is awesome, Pickles. I got to get this text in.
Come on, let's get it.
Dark Tubing is his name, I guess.
Dark Tubing.
Okay. So whatever that is. I saw my mom lip syncing this song at my brother's wedding and almost threw up.
Wow.
I mean, I could see that being a very uncomfortable thing to have to mom.
Yeah, you thought watching American Pie with your father could have been awkward.
Before then, his name was just Brad or Jake or Tim, and after that, it became Dark Tubing.
He's never the same again. He had 2 lives before and after he saw his mom lip syncing the Candy Shop at his brother's wedding.
Man,
it's just the way it was.
BCS in ACS before and after Candy Shop.
Yeah,
that's a heck of a line of demarcation in your life to be able to remember. 414-799-1973. There was a time and place where I think in baseball this happened a lot more. I know in basketball it happens, and the Bucks marketed it for a long time, of the star attraction coming into the city to take on the hometown team. We got one coming in this weekend, John. We've talked about Paul Skeens a number of different times. We have when Paul Wagner joins us. He'll join us later on in the week. They're in a travel spot right now, so usually he'll join us on Mondays here, but he'll join us later on in the week. Skeens right now, for me, as he comes to American Family Field this week, trying to figure out lockdown if it's Wednesday night or Thursday afternoon as to when he is pitching. Injuries in the Pirates rotation, moving it around a little bit. But he, to me, right now is a star attraction. Makes the All-Star team, first got to do so after being the #1 pick. Make the All-Star team the following year. John, I don't know if that's still as much of a thing for people to know there's a superstar in town. I want to be able to go and witness this in person. Maybe this is a little bit more of a bygone thing, but this is one for me. Skeens has reached that stratosphere where I feel like I got to see him in this run in person if I can.
Okay, so Skeens has reached Barry Bonds chasing the home run title category.
Good one. Sure.
Maybe Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa back in the day.
To that level?
Right? I mean, when you say must see, there's a couple must sees that were around that I can think of, right? When Barry Sanders was coming to town, when Barry Sanders was anywhere, you got to see this guy. got to see this guy because at any point in time, to the house, and you don't know when it's going to be. And you were just hoping they'd hand him the ball off on 3rd and 11 to see if he could shake 15 people and get, down the field. So that was one for me. Michael Jordan was one. If you could ever see Michael Jordan, I feel like Kobe was one.
Big one.
I feel like LeBron James, and LeBron James was that for me his rookie year. So maybe Paul Skeens is similar to that because LeBron in his rookie year wasn't what he was in his prime, but he was still phenomenal to see. He was a LeBron James, and I told you about Cam Newton his rookie year. What he looked like a full-grown man on the field as a rookie quarterback. Listen, LeBron James looked like that. He was amazing. And I saw him his rookie year, not once, but twice, because I had to see it a second time. So that's what I feel like this is developing into. We talked about Shohei when he came to town.
It's a good one. Yep.
Let's see that. Let's see the pitching and the hitting out of Shohei Ohtani. But there aren't a whole lot of guys in baseball really anymore. Unless they're chasing a home run, there aren't a whole lot. This doesn't get brought up in baseball as much. Shohei is the unicorn pitching and hitting last year. So let's see that here at AmFam when he came to town. I think Paul Skeens, man, you're throwing 100+ miles an hour. My only question, does he get a standing O from the Milwaukee Brewers crowd like he did in
St. Louis?
In St. Louis with the Cardinals fans.
From this one, no. However,
you still want to watch him pitch.
But I want to go see him pitch, right? Like, I mean, it's John brings up LeBron in his rookie year. That's a great one. Jokic to me this year, I had never seen him in person, and I had to be able to see him at the height of his power. Didn't disappoint. I mean, there were a couple of passes that he throws along the baseline in a 20-point Nugget loss, where I'm still like, dude, I'm just in awe of what this cat is doing here. I was able to see it. John brought up Ohtani last year. Armin, I also wanted to see his teammate Mike Trout. Like, we hadn't been able to see him outside of maybe one time in his career with the interleague play rules that they had instituted. Now playing in a stadium every other year, you're going to see all the superstars from the other league. But the last one that I can really remember vividly picking out the game saying, Dad, we got to go see this game. Derek Jeter in his farewell tour.
Oh, yeah.
When the Yankees came to American Family Field, Ben Miller Park.
And part of that was because of the farewell tour, you had finality to it. I mean, there was a sense of that with Jordan in 98 because everyone assumed he was going to be done. Last Dance and all that, even though it wasn't official yet because Phil wasn't coming back. So I remember how big of a deal it was to try and see Jordan that last year too. I went to the Bucks game when they went, and I mean, I remember cheering for the Bucks. Right. All these people were looking at me weird, like, nah, yeah, I'm still cheering for the Bucks to win this, even though that we're going to lose to the Bulls. I mean, I still have my Ray Allen jersey on, but there was a sense of that. I don't know, honestly, if Paul Skeens is at that level for me yet. I mean, I know he's a phenom coming up, but so was Strasburg. So are a lot of guys. I mean, I don't get the sense he's my last chance to see him because I know the Pirates are going to play here every year.
And I don't know if you get that sense with baseball as much as you do with basketball. I mean, I can tell you the locker room in Green Bay when the Lakers were coming to Milwaukee, we got to go.
One game, we got
to go see Kobe. All right, when the Warriors were in their Warriors are in town. We have to go see this Warrior team. This crazy good Warrior team with Steph and Clay and Draymond and Kevin Durant. We got to see that one. It seems to happen more in basketball. You talk about Jokic. It feels like it happens more in basketball. It feels like it's more intimate in basketball. Baseball, I almost feel like you got to hit the dingers. It's hard to get an appreciation for 102 miles an hour because sitting in the stands, 102 looks like 96.
You can't tell.
For me. I mean, I look up at the wall every time to see what the mile per hour is. Fast.
That's fast.
Boy can throw hard.
Well, and stars aren't a thing as much in baseball anymore. It's more provincial. I mean, there are the few.
Well, and if you're a position player, you're seeing them 4 times at bat, right? Like for Skeens, this is one where he's going to be one of the most prominent figures of the game, right? Like, I mean, when maybe Roger Clemens was in his run before everyone found out, like that could have been a name. The big unit, Randy Johnson would be one. Now, I was maybe a little bit young when he was dominating the game.
Yeah, I remember
that would be another one where I'm like, dude, Randy Johnson's on the mound. I'm only going to be able to see him once or twice.
I remember in 2004 taking the 30 bus downtown from Marquette to see him at Miller Park when there was nobody at the game. Brewers, Diamondbacks, nobody was there. 2004, and we won that game actually.
I love that, and I want the Brewers to win. 3-1 if it's on Wednesday or if it's on Thursday, whatever it ends up being. Maybe it's the power of the stash. Obviously, there's some Livy Dunn love here that is one of the reasons why so many people are talking about him.
It's a factor, yes. It's a factor.
I don't believe she's going to be in town. That's not the reason. I want to see him throw gas, right? Like I want to see that main attraction. You brought up the Warriors, John. That is one that if you have not been able to see Steph Curry in person, the pregame is almost better than the actual in-game. Like what he does pregame when the doors open for 20 minutes of shoot around is going to be one of the best exhibitions that anybody gets to witness of basketball. Like there are still guys that you look at and say, I got to see that dude do his thing in person. This year for the NFL, I don't know if it's as much in the NFL either, but you're talking about somebody being on the field for every play. Dude, when Pat Mahomes came in December, a generational talent potentially at that spot, maybe one of the best of all time. That was a guy that I thought more people would have said, yeah, I want to see Pat in person, but it didn't seem like that was as much of a talker going in.
No, that was definitely a talker.
Okay.
Many people up here, I can't wait for that Chiefs game. I just have to see Patrick Mahomes in person. I have to, but I personally think a lot of those people, they go and they see Patrick Mahomes in person, and it kind of takes away. You're sitting so far away watching a football game compared to basketball. You're sitting so close, and they're on offense and defense, and they're up and down the court, and there's trash talk going on, and there's a lot of theatrics. It's really a show. Basketball is really a show the entire time. In football, it's the game, it's the sport, and sometimes you miss out on the phenomenal plays, or it's hard to see a phenomenal play. It's hard to see him, pirouetting out of a sack to throw down the field. It happens so quick that you then need a jumbotron to be able to see it. So yeah, I heard a lot of people say, I just got to see Patrick Mahomes in person.
I would have,
but man, unless you're on the field watching in person, I don't know if you get that feel.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would imagine for a long time the Packers were that team. I mean, had the musty guy, Favre,
true,
and then Rodgers. And Rodgers. I mean, the mic'd up thing, NFL Films thing of Randy Moss. How many times have you seen that? This Brett Favre out here.
I gotta go see this.
I gotta see Brett Favre. I gotta watch this. Now, I don't know, John. In 2014, Brady Rodgers, when Brady and the Patriots came to
that was epic.
Lambeau, that had to be one of those type of games. Whereas, like, here we go. Brady Rodgers, a great game, big finish, Packers win. I would imagine it was that type of feeling to see those two, heavyweights go at it. But, as a Packer fan, you always had that guy quarterback as well that others would, in theory, go to see, so often. So that was got to be one of those moments.
Walking in 2020, I know obviously the result's not the one that you want to talk about, but to not think of what the significance of that moment was, walking in for that NFC title game, knowing here are two of the dudes that are going to be remembered as the best to do this. Mm-hmm. And they're duking it out for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And that was another one, John, where you want to talk about the intimate feel of it. Maybe that one is even more just ingrained in the mind because that was as intimate as you'll ever get a football game when there was like 10,000 people and people are banging those poster boards on the benches, giving each other lessons as to how to make it as loud as possible for that game. That was a hilarious environment to be able to watch that type of level of football game in.
That whole season was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that whole season was weird and awkward, and that was actually a really cool environment because it was the get back to.
That's right.
Yes,
it was the first really Lambeau. We had some people there the week before to see us beat the Rams, and then they came back a little bit more. Were allowed in for the NFC Championship game. So yeah, that was an odd situation, a weird situation. But yeah. When you talk, sometimes the must-sees are the matchups on both sides when it comes to football. It's Brady versus Rodgers, Brady versus Manning. It's not necessarily just, hey, Tom Brady's coming to town to play the Browns. We have to buy that ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, and you want to see the dueling side of it. It's a fact right now, at least for me, is I feel like I want to see it in this run. The mailman Jeff said this Skeen Sanity situation is going to be over when he blows his arm out. No one will remember it. Well, I'll say this. If that sadly does happen, I sure as hell hope it doesn't.
Well, of course not.
If it does happen, I'm going to be excited that I was able to watch and see it live and in person. People that watch Jeremy Lin for those 3.5 weeks where he was the biggest story in sports,
sure,
they still probably remember going, dude, I watched this guy, Jeremy Lin, in the middle of 2 weeks where he was the biggest talker in the world, dropped 27 in an NBA game, who was an undrafted free agent 3 weeks before.
Might have been short time, but it was a cultural phenomenon for that short time. It's what 30 for 30 shorts are made of.
You know what I mean?
The shorts, you know what I mean? That's what they're made of. The small, and being part of that is what makes sports exciting for that small time. And Skeen's sanity, I don't know. I mean, there is a sense where I do think like, okay, there've been a lot of great pitching prospects that have come up and been exciting at first. Maybe Skeens is that guy. Who knows if he'll actually stretch out and have a great career, a Clemens type, whatever it is, or maybe he'll just be a guy.
Maybe he'll be like Giovanni Gallardo when I begged my mom to go and we sat in the bleachers for his first start with the Brewers in what was that, 2008?
Want to say
7 or 8?
Would have been 7 probably.
2007?
Right?
Yeah, because then he hurts the knee in 2008, comes back and makes the start in the playoffs. Matt in Milwaukee, who gives a bleep about Skeens? You guys talk about being Brewers fans, but you don't talk about the travesty of the All-Star snubs. Oh, Matt in Milwaukee, hold on, bub. That's coming up on the other side because Armin Sarian's fired up about one name.
Au contraire, my friend. Yes.
I'm a little fired up about the second baseman. Nobody's talking about our third baseman who could have snuck his way in. There were plenty of snubs to go around. 2 all-star starters, though, and William Contreras and Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich, a little fired up and a little upset about his defensive performance on Saturday. It's the offense that's driving him into the all-star game. We'll talk about some of those names as well. UPS Ben, Yasiel Puig was huge that one summer.
There are moments like that. I mean, there are guys that had those kind of, they're shooting stars and they flash so bright and then they kind of burn out. But
Aaron in Milwaukee, one of the most anticipated NFL matchups of all time when Deion Sanders went to the Niners and was covering Andre Rison.
That was insane. They got in fights.
In a return to Atlanta?
They got in fights like every play. Do you remember that, John? You remember that? You got to.
I don't remember that one as much as Cortland Finnegan versus
that one,
Andre Johnson.
Yeah, that was big.
God, that was an awesome
but
one.
Deion had a pick 6 in that game.
They should have put that as part of Andre Johnson's Hall of Fame induction video.
They definitely should have.
That should have been a massive feature of it. He beat the absolute heck out of that cat.
That was one of his moments, yeah.
One of his best moments. Also, we have 414 talk about the 2013 Packers-Niners wildcard game. Why do people got to talk about the bad or when John trips going up for the Lambeau Leap? John, nobody talks about the flawless ones.
I was sabotaged.
You were, John, and you said that before. You've told that story about how you were sabotaging the way up on that Lambeau Leap.
Let's set the record straight here.
Cameraman with the bad wire. Sabotage.
You looked right at him.
Guy's got to be aware of his surroundings. You know what he just did? They just look bad. 414-799-1973. It's 9 to noon statewide on the game. We'll talk about those snubs on the other side. Are there still must-see players in person for you in sports? And the contract that we were wondering that kept Dan Hurley in Soares, Connecticut has finally dropped. We have that news coming up on the other side. It's 9 to noon on the game.
John Kuhn here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And how do we all feel about a good Wisconsin dad joke? Well, here's a couple for you. Why shouldn't you tell secrets in a cornfield? Well, there are too many ears around. Bada bing. What kind of underpants do lawyers wear? Well, obviously it's briefs. Now time for a window dad joke. What do you need in order to cook in a sunny kitchen? Shade and bake. Oh my gosh, I can't help myself because my mind is all over windows and doors thanks to this incredible deal going on at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Pay as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door just this month. Pella completes the installation with little to no mess or hassle, leaving nothing behind but their perfect results. Again, listen to this deal. $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Please don't forget to let Gina Della know that John Kuhn sent you. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends July 31st.
Sour at 9 to noon brought to you by Happy Place Hemp and happyplacehemp.com. Everybody relax. Happy Place Hemp is here to ease all of your stresses and provide you excellent hemp products for all your hemp needs. Whether it's CBN, CBD gummies, Sleepy Time gummies, if you're having trouble staying asleep, they can help you there. Delta 8, Delta 9 recreational gummies, if you're trying to have a heck of a night or a weekend. Maybe you're going to the ball game, want to enjoy it at a different level. That could be a part of it for you. Or you just want to drift into happiness with their citrus-flavored seltzers, Drift. 0 alcohol, 0 calories, 0 problems when you got Drift, baby. 3 or more 4-packs get you free shipping and 25% off when you use promo code Billy every single time at happyplacehemp.com. Or just go in and stop in, talk to Rob and Chris in Muskego. Get all the questions you have answered right there as well. It is happyplacehemp.com, promo code Billy for 25% off your entire order every time. All right, 414-799-1973, NicoletLaw.com, talking text line. The news now coming down as we had kind of anxiously awaited this. The story that flared up and then stole the NBA headlines during the NBA Finals of Dan Hurley, the championship coach, leaving the Connecticut Huskies potentially to go coach the LA Lakers. John Armin, that was a 6-year, $70 million offer. Would have made him the 6th highest paid coach in the NBA if Dan Hurley would have accepted it from the LA Lakers. John, now the UConn Huskies announcing Dan Hurley has agreed to a new contract. This is different. 6 years, $50 million to stay at UConn. Possible performance incentives. It runs through 2030. By my quick math here, John, that's leaving $20 million on the table to stay in college. However, can't put a price on happiness. I guess $20 million would have made me pretty dang happy being out in Los Angeles. That's a lot of money to be leaving on the table to not go and coach in the NBA and stay where you're dominating college basketball better than anybody else can right now.
Dan Hurley sees the money. He's just fine. 50 million, 70 million, what he can make in incentives will change that number, I'm sure. What he can make in endorsements in Connecticut will change that number, I'm sure. Money is not going to be a problem for Dan Hurley at either place. And that's why this tells me very clearly he sees the UConn men's basketball college head coaching job as a better job than the LA Lakers NBA head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
That's as simple as it gets.
Yes. And better for himself too.
Dan Hurley sees that job as a better job in general.
In general, sure.
In general, it is a better job to be coaching that UConn men's team than it is to be coaching LeBron and Anthony Davis and the Lakers out in LA.
And I can tell you, unless he did something against the law or something like that drastic, or unless he left on his own, there's 100% certainty he'll make the entirety of that UConn contract, or even more if he wins again. They rip it up and give a new extension.
Sure. Because
there's job security with that. They're not going to fire him. I think that's the one thing a lot of people still ask about an NBA job, especially a Laker job. You know, if he didn't do well, if he was in last place for 3 years, would they retain him for all 6?
Yeah, but do you think Dan Hurley's thinking he's going to be in last place? Right? Like, I mean, there's a part of the competitor in him that I just don't fathom. I don't know that he thought about it and said, what if I'm unsuccessful? Now, maybe I'm not smart maybe I'm naive for not thinking that was a massive part of his decision. But there is an understanding of, hey, they fired 2 coaches in 5 years, one of which won the NBA Finals, one of which went to the Western Conference Finals.
Exactly.
You've won back-to-back national championships. And I also think this is a part of it. And John hit it right on the head. We're so convinced, especially with Jeff Hafley leaving a head coaching job in college to go coach the defense in the NFL. It is clearly a better job coaching in the NFL than it is coaching in college, right? It is strictly football. You're focusing with a group of players that get brought in. You don't have to do the recruiting. You don't have to. Now, some people might not like that as much. I think it's clearly a better job, less stress, or stress is the wrong way of putting it. Less pulls for your time being a defensive coordinator in the NFL than being a head coach in college. There's so many things that take you away from football. Basketball, and if it's college to the NBA, I thought was a little bit more of a blurred line, because you're talking about Sure, the transfer portal guys, John, the biggest transfer portal guy I think we saw made about $2 million. League minimum in the NBA is 3. So you're talking about extremely different wealth levels of wealth to the NBA, to college game of, sure, there's more things that take you away from the floor. But I don't know that everybody would disagree with what you just said and what Dan Hurley makes a statement with this contract of saying, hey, man, college basketball, yeah, there's a lot going on here. Yeah, it's wild. Still a better job than coaching in the NBA.
Yeah, and let me just kind of expand a little bit to say that it's a better job in college than the NBA is wild. There's a lot of recruiting time that goes down. There's a lot of different things you got to navigate with student athletes versus the NBA. It's just clock in, clock out. Put your hours in, put your time in, put your work in, and it's all business. It's all about ball. It's not just all about ball in college. You got to navigate NIL. You got to navigate boosters. You got to navigate collective, NIL collectives. You got to navigate all these different waters, keeping ADs happy, keeping, a big funding happy. Sure. And keeping the players happy. The players can transfer anytime they stink and want to. And in the NBA, you have free agency, but you can lock players down for a certain period of time. It's a lot more stressful in college ball. And you're going to get paid less money to do that? Oh, that job better be nice.
Isn't it?
That job better be much nicer than the LA Lakers job.
A little bit. There's a little bit of this, too. Like, all things being equal, yeah, it's more stress in college. But when he's already built himself as King Kong of college, it's a little easier because he's taken advantage of the transfer portal. He's taken advantage of NIL. Like, they have a decided advantage over other teams, and they've built a reputation now of success where teams are going to be more likely to go there. So I think he looks at it more like an advantage in that sense. Also, basketball, there's less recruits and less players, so it's a little easier than football. In football,
sure.
You got 20 recruits. Yeah. You're flying all over the place. There's so many guys.
There's more kids in each recruiting class than there is on your team.
There might be 3 kids in one cycle. 4 guys, if guys transfer, go to the NBA.
Conversely, one player can change your fortune much differently in basketball than they can in football. So the one recruit that you pull in from the transfer portal, like Cam Spencer, who is one of the best players in the Big East,
right,
can drastically change where you're sitting here. One of the incentives here from Goodman is can earn additional compensation for performance-based bonuses, retention bonus of $1 million per year. So is that player retention?
Good question. Does that mean him?
Is that his retention? Like, hey, I am going to stay here.
So that's 55.
Okay, sweet. We're going to give you an extra $1 million.
So that's
like, if that's the deal, I like that if I'm him, because that sounds like $55 million to me, John.
I assume that is a, hey, you will get this extra $1 million by not taking the next NBA job that comes around.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Now all of a sudden your team's not tournament champions. You got ousted in the first round. There was some things going on. You got some players transferring. Oh, but you're going to stay. We're going to retain you for another year. Here's another $1 million. The money he's going to be just fine with the money. This comes down to which job was better.
Yeah, and where he's happier too.
And this is for Hurley, that Connecticut is the place that he sees the job being better. And quite frankly, there is the family side of it. The family side does come in. The family side of these things does come in. It came in a lot of the decisions that I made throughout my career.
Of course.
But it's, and your family should always be first, but business is business. So you weigh the business side, you weigh the work side, and then you weigh the family side. And when you added that all up, put it in a blender, for Dan Hurley, it said UConn better than LA.
I think it's hard to believe for me how many fans think that that's not a factor, the family factor. Like that these aren't real. Like just because they make a lot of money, they're not real people with real. Like,
listen, if AJ Dillon wanted to, he could have gotten more money somewhere else.
Yeah,
he could have been paid more money to play somewhere else. But AJ Dillon loves the Green Bay Packers. He married a girl from Green Bay, and he is very happily, entrenched in the community here. He is now a father here. There's many reasons for him to want to stay here, besides a bigger contract, because the bigger contract was somewhere else.
Yeah,
and it just there's a life factor to this that is easier. $20 million is a difficult stretch. Like, I don't think that was an easy decision, though, while he's parsing it through with his family. And as much as his wife loves the East Coast, I wonder if there were some thoughts of, listen, I do understand we're going to be okay, right? Like, I mean, we're going to put food on the table, but $20 million is $20 million. Maybe I'm just greedy. Maybe I am just a greedy, sick, delusional individual here that only thinks about money.
Well, I haven't thought, people texted in about the tax implications. I'm not 100%
there are tax
sure.
Yeah, difference. Yeah.
There are definitely tax implications here. You're going to
cost of living different there, you think?
The gap must be smaller than we think.
Well,
I would think so.
Where is Danny Hurley living? I'm pretty sure he's in a decent neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't think he's in some shack there in Connecticut.
Yeah, I think he's in the
living by
the Schneidman type neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is he can ride his bike. So my thing is, you have oceanfront property there as well. Okay, you have two coasts. And people talk about the beach in LA. Guess what? There's a beach on the Atlantic Ocean side too. And I would
water's not as warm though, I've heard.
I mean, maybe I don't know if he likes to surf. So I would assume that,
That's fair.
If you want that type of life, that house, you can probably get it. I'm sure he already has something pretty nice.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad spot.
I don't know what Aaron's Malibu mansion. I know what shares was about to cost like $30 million. It's not as cheap as you think, probably. So maybe you'd have to live in a one-bedroom apartment.
Every time you sign a contract, you weigh many different things,
many factors.
A lot of people, if they could choose the place to live and they could make that comparable, then they choose the place to live. And I know for me it was, hey, we'd like to live in Green Bay. Well, okay, Green Bay's not going to have you back. So where do you want to go? Where can you go that you would like to live? And you think about these things.
Yeah.
It gets brought up all the time. It gets brought up all the time when Packers are looking for free agents and miss out on them. And a lot of times I do think it comes down to the contract. Players get more money elsewhere. But don't think for a second they're not, okay, I could live in Dallas or I could live in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay. Their taxes are pretty good and their weather is pretty nice for most of the year. Or Green Bay, and it's going to be cold. Let's see if I can get that other team to give me more money than Green Bay, and then I'm not lured there. But I mean, players come here and there's a whole different type of vibe. When you come in, you start seeing the facilities, you start seeing what they put into the team, and that's when you realize, hey, maybe made the better choice coming here.
Yeah, the all football part is a great one. Now, if you're a soft tissue guy and the weather and the warmth into November and December, maybe that's a lure somewhere else as well, right? There's other things that you have to think about. Danny Hurley saying $20 million is going to be different, but he has taken 6 years, $50 million at UConn. Again, going to be able to feed the family.
Yeah, maybe he just
going to be able to feed the kids.
Maybe it matters to him being part of that legacy and staying there. I mean, I would assume that's a draw too. I mean, being like, you know what? I'm trying to carve out the greatest legacy I can possibly carve out at UConn, not just be a basketball nomad. And listen, he's going to have other opportunities if he changes his mind one day. If his kids are old and it's a time where it's like, you know what?
Well, his son's off the team. So, I mean,
Right.
like the winning percentage of 1,000% win percentage when his son played games, that's going to be gone. That's a heck of a safety net to no longer have there.
Dan Hurley's 50-51, right? I mean, he's got plenty of time to do something else if he wants.
Here's the other thing. I'm not really familiar with Storrs, Connecticut. That's where
I have no idea with it.
That's where the school is, right? Storrs,
Yep,
Connecticut.
That's correct. Yep.
Is that close to Providence? Like I know Providence is in Rhode Island, but are they close together? What is it close to? What's the biggest city close to it? Because
probably Hartford, right?
A lot of times it's cool to live on campuses. It's cool to live in smaller towns. Like there's a lot of people that don't want the big city life. They don't want to go to LA because it is the third largest city in the United States or second largest city in the United States, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just want to live in smaller towns too.
It's a half hour from Hartford, decent sized city, right? Capital of Connecticut. So I would assume there you go. Hartford, 30 minutes. That's
once Schneidman's re-upped, we'll ask him about Storrs, Connecticut, and then he'll be able to give us all.
He's
the
a free agent too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, free
Haven. I mean, there's some bougie parts of Connecticut. That's for sure. I mean, let's see how far it is from Providence. Just out of curiosity, John, you mentioned Providence.
I saw you talking stuff about Providence this weekend online.
Talking stuff about their fans. I really was. Hour and a half, hour 15 at Providence. I was in the mud with Providence fans.
Are you going to be doing this like from the hospital over the next couple of days? Like all of a sudden Wednesday night, we're going to be knowing that you're sitting there. Your young daughter is going to be sleeping. Hopefully you're letting the nurse change the diapers in the middle of the night and you're just firing off tweets about Providence.
Armin's not even arguing with Providence fans. He's arguing with bots. That's the problem.
You're probably right. You're probably absolutely right, John. They're just bots. I don't know why.
PO capital V 92868. You're saying is not a real person? Could have swore that was a real Providence fan. Season ticket holder.
Some guy named Baloney Slicer was on me all weekend. The thing is, I told myself,
Pause on that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll try not. I'm trying not to tweet from the hospital.
Armin's already talked about doing the deed. He said ding dong.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all kinds of
Baloney Slicer on him all weekend. Yeah,
that guy was
great start.
Kept tweeting at me.
414-799-1973. All right, Bryce Terrain got snubbed. Armin Sarian says another one is even worse. How many Brewers should have been in the All-Star game? There are 2. And will we get any more? We'll discuss it. It's 9 to noon. Hour 3, our investment hour, 15 minutes away. Not going to want to miss it. It's 9 to noon. Stay right here on the game.
My boss is like,
9 to noon on the game. So Christian Yelich and William Contreras are going to start the All-Star game. Milwaukee Brewers waiting for the reserves yesterday. Well, as you were patiently awaiting it, after Craig Kashan and Tim Dillard did a fantastic job selling the fact that you might see Brian Hudson on the team. Hey, maybe even Colin Ray outside look. 800 win percentage. Armin, I know how much you love wins and losses for a pitcher stat.
Yeah, it ain't really good.
Yeah. And also, I mean, just think about some other guys. Joey Ortiz leading all rookies in OPS. Bryce Terang playing a Gold Glove second base, and nothing. No reserves listed for the Milwaukee Brewers. Instead, the ones that are a little bit more of the outrage. Luis Arias gets the second base backup role. John, he hadn't played second base since the middle of May. And all defensive metrics in the side of Bryce Terang. More importantly, Brewers fans on the side of Bryce Terang. Us on the side of Bryce Terang, because we got Bryce Terang 0 jerseys. Even though he's rocking number 2, I still wanted to rock the letter 0 when he was walking into the All-Star game. Now, maybe he gets thrown in here late.
I got 2 of them. I don't even have one. I got 2 of them.
Good thing I went to the sidewalk sale. You know what's great about having the Bryce Terang as he ascends now into a star, which he is.
It's a great story.
When I wear that 0, people are going to go, what is that?
Right.
I'm going to be like, yeah, don't you remember when William Henderson wore 30? Yeah,
right.
You don't remember that?
Right.
We were here before you.
Like the real ones, remember, the ones that were on him from the start. I guess you weren't a real one. When he went from nothing to something, that's why he wore 0, right? I mean,
yeah, it's having the agent, it's having the band shirt once they actually get big onto the radio. Like you guys weren't at Summerfest when they were cool.
So I'll say this. I think there's only one sport that the jersey is cooler than. No, 2 sports that the jersey is cooler than the jersey. I think hockey and football, the jersey's better than the jersey. But I think baseball and basketball, the jersey's cooler than the jersey.
Well, baseball, because it's such a price difference. I mean, baseball jersey.
I'm not even talking about price difference. I'm talking about I would rather walk down the street with a jersey on than a baseball jersey.
And a button down.
Jersey. Now I'd rather wear a jersey to the game than a baseball jersey.
Well, especially when it's hot, because when it's real hot,
those things are so warm.
You're cooking in that bad boy.
It's like wearing a burlap bag.
But when you're fat, like I am, the baseball jersey is a massive help, right? Like, I mean, because you can
buttons, a lot of unbuttons,
a lot of unbuttoned situations. I usually unbutton the top 2.
You go 2.
Yeah, I usually go top 2 on the jersey unbutton.
Well, you could just let it all the way open,
or you can bust it all the way open if indeed maybe this is a jersey that's been for a long time. You're just busting.
You could go old school rap video style and just button the top one.
I like that.
I remember that.
But I made the same decision last week when we were at the game after Churio hits the grand slam.
Yeah,
listen, I think I'm gonna go get a jersey.
Did you
walk in there? $165.
No, bad. That's a team situation because they are expensive.
$35 for the jersey. I said, let me hold one of those things, and let me get one for the kid too. So you end up getting half half the price, 2 for the price of 1. And John, to your point, I mean, Fanatics. I know Armin's not going to like this. I like what Fanatics did with the baseball jersey.
Oh, with the shirt?
Put the little holes in there to act like there's some ventilation. It's a nice little look what they did to the jersey.
They really got you with the
changed it up a little bit.
Fanatics put holes in the jersey.
Well, no, the imitation
holes,
holes in the numbers and stuff like that.
Boy, that really turned me around on Fanatics. They got the fake.
It looks cool.
No, it might look all right. The shirt is fine. I admit that. I like the jersey because you can commit to representing a player, representing a guy without having to go all in on the jersey because they are big investments.
Investments.
Baseball jerseys are big investments. Once upon a time that
Plus,
wasn't the case.
How pissed would you be if you bought a jersey of a 0 and now he's 2?
Like,
I mean, the jersey, I'm still,
I'm rocking the
great
jersey.
deal.
Yes,
still love it.
Yeah, that part is definitely a factor.
You don't feel nearly as bad when you change that thing into a cutoff for the jersey, right? Yeah, like you allow yourself to say, you know what, I got this Brandon Woodruff one or my Lorenzo Kane one that I got from the sidewalk sale.
That's the thing.
I'll hit the cutoff and it'll still work out well.
I got a JBJ still sitting around.
Yeah.
Armin, roll your eyes one more time. Before you leave from
how many sidewalk sale, how many stacks of Jackie Bradley shirts they had?
What do you think they do with the rest of those? You don't think they sold all of them?
Well, listen, $5 was a lot for that.
Can you do me a favor? Can we go the first day of the pro shop sale this year?
I want to so
and not
bad.
Day 3.
You gotta go. Do not forget to go. Like I always forget. So I
We
go
should
to
do the
last.
show from
Yeah,
there.
Armin goes. Yes, I would. Let's do the show from there.
Clubhouse sale, yeah.
First access.
Yes.
Yes.
We should do the show
Guys-
from the sidewalk
Guys,
sale.
I'm at the clubhouse sale.
Clubhouse sale.
What's there? I
I
think there's a jacket, John. Awesome. Just get it for me. Wait a minute. It's a women's. Sorry.
That looks a little small for a 2X. That made
Yeah,
sense.
There was some good. I mean, there's
Look
always
good though.
There's always good stuff there, but you gotta get there early. You know,
Man, if I'd have bought a women's jacket,
Lindsay would have loved it.
yeah, I guess.
It's been looking good
Or
though.
your girls. They would have been like rocking that cool starter jacket. I'm just saying. Wouldn't have
Nate-
been all that bad, John.
Nate and Waukesha, I'm still so hyped. I splurged in 2019 on a stitched yellow jersey when Majestic was still making them. Those things were so
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
And
the
that
cool
bad
base.
boy pumps right up in value again this year.
That's true. The cool base jersey.
Skyrockets back up because Christian Yelich's performance up. He's going to be atop the list here for batting average in the National League, in the lead for the batting title going in right now. Once he hits, I think it's minimum 240 at bats. They said yesterday he's got to do like 6 more in there.
329 on base, 407 slugging. 533 OPS is 940 as we sit here on July 8th. Incredible journey all the way back to his level of success, which he's found again. And a lot of you gave up on him. I didn't. Just wanted to point
Just drop
out.
that thing
Yeah,
in
just
there.
wanna
Good
point-
work. 414-799-1973.
Not
You
me.
were.
I was on this station
Not me.
keeping up
You
with him
listen.
every day.
I've talked with you about. We've had a watch list. We had a stat.
Where's
every
B-Rad?
week.
That
We
wa-
had a stat every week. We followed him every week. There
Well,
were
yeah.
moments, and you, on air. What about all fair? What about the things you said when I was like, "Oh man, it might be curtains," and you're like, "Yeah,
no,
it
no,
really
no.
might be."
I was in his corner. You can't.
No, come
can't
on.
put the
There's
case
no.
on me.
There's
I didn't
no
know if
way.
he'd get back to MVP level, which I don't know if he's at yet, but he's putting up great numbers. But
What's
I
his
said,
OPS got to get to?
He's in the 950 range. He's going to have a chance.
He's 940.
Yeah,
right now.
940 something right
The
now.
problem is he missed all those games, so I don't know how that's going to affect his voting. So
He's going to be in the mix.
He's
It
gotta
appears
get-
he's going to be in the mix if
okay,
he keeps these
he'll get
numbers.
both.
up.
He's got to get hot again, like he was before the
Sure,
back injury. If
sure.
he can get hot again.
yeah,
Ooh.
I mean, your boy B-Rad just hit the Yelly watch again, all-star, all upward and second highest OPS of his career. He'd be on pace for the 20 bombs, 940 OPS, 34 steals. Woo!
I give B-Rad a lot of credit because I always said he's got an agenda, and when he starts playing well, B-Rad won't be around. But I was wrong.
I'm just
B-Rad
disappointed I
keeping
never
that
made it.
energy. You
I'm
know?
just disappointed I never made it into the tweet for B-Rad with all the different drop-ins.
Yeah, tag.
Yeah,
tag,
I was
Heller,
never one of the
tag.
tags.
Right.
I like the Yelly watch. I wanted to get in
Oh
on that
yeah,
one.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I wanted to get in on it. One of these days, maybe I'll make it. I'll make
One
it on
day.
the V-Rad watch list. 414-799-1973. You want to watch every single day for the Coons Can't Miss? 15 minutes away when we walk up to Potawatomi Hotel Casino Sportsbook. That in hour 3, our best one of the day, comes up right after this. Hey guys, Underdog Fantasy is the way to be playing this baseball season. Have some fun and join over millions of fans who are making money making picks on Underdog Fantasy. The MLB Pick'em game is how you play. Select between 2 to 8 players, higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, hits, singles, doubles, home runs for scorch statistics, which multiply your odds. And if all your picks hit, you win. Legally from your couch, max up to 325 times your money in a single night. Sign up today at UnderdogFantasy.com or download the easy-to-use mobile app. I'm talking easy to use because it's my favorite app on my phone. Stats refreshing all night, understanding how close your picks are to hitting, and also live statistics for you to continue to play. Projections are always changing all night long. So if you miss first pitch, you're not out on the MLB Pick'em game. Sign up with promo code Billy, BILLY, and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry and a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Billy. Claim their new customer special of a mystery player pick and a deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Hour 3, it always pops off here on 9 to noon, our best one of the day. It's our investment hour. Coons can't miss 10 minutes away right here on the game. Bucks just sent out their staff changes, official staff changes here for the Milwaukee Bucks in 24-25. We already knew a lot of these additions, but Darvin Ham back with the squad. Greg Buckner retaining Dave Yeager and Rex Kleiman. Joe Prunty is back. So is Vin Baker. I think there were a little bit of thought that maybe Vin was not going to be retained.
Happy Vin is back.
Very happy about that.
Happy Rex Kalamian's back.
Kalamian's back as well.
Armenian
Yes.
guy.
I also like Joe Prunty
Love that.
because when he filled in as the
Hilarious.
lead coach, it's always fun.
He's hilarious.
And an
Watch
inch-
out.
Armin's side note.
Sorry,
Every Armenian in the world is hilarious.
I love that he's
cool.
got him
It's
now.
cool. We got another kind of half famous Armenian in town. Maybe something cool happened with that. Don't know. But Armenians tend to do stuff for each other. You know, I remember when Vasgersian was in town. I was like 11. He spoke at the church, and I met him when I was 11.
There we go.
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
You know. No, and Rex is a good coach too. He's been around for a long time.
Jack
30 years.
Hurram promoted to assistant coach, head of player development. Now, I believe that was the Oppenheimer role. Not 1,000% true, but I believe that was where it was. Hiram is entering his 6th season with the Bucks organization, has served several roles with the Bucks and Wisconsin Herd. Last season, the River Falls native served as the Bucks player development coordinator. So he leaps up. Your boy Jason Love joins the Bucks.
What a list of staff these
after
days.
spending 5 seasons with the 76ers. And Spencer Rivers comes to Milwaukee after serving as an assistant coach and player development coach for the Detroit Pistons in 23-24. Obviously developed a whole lot of talent for that 14-win club. But prior to joining the Pistons, he spent 3 seasons as player development with the Sixers, 2020 to 2023. That might make a whole lot of sense because Spencer Rivers, the other son of Bucks head coach Doc Rivers.
Ah, that's it.
So Austin Rivers on ESPN, flaring up arguments between basketball players and football players. The other Rivers son, John, is just like, hey, I'm going to be silent and I'm going to follow in Pop's footsteps and just coach in the NBA and try not to make headwaves and make enemies across all different sports landscapes. It's a good decision, I think, by Spencer Rivers.
You know, it was always funny, like to me, and my dad would always joke about this when there were more assistant coaches on the bench than players. Like all these suits, he's like, what are they all doing? There are so many coaches now on his NBA staff, so many like video assistants, so many personnel assistants. It's cool, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but there are a lot these days. I mean, there really are. I mean, the amount of coaches, gone are the days when it was like Phil Jackson, Tex Winter, and all those guys, three guys, Jimmy Rogers or whoever it was back then. I remember those. John Paxson. So I mean, listen, a nice list of coaches there, though. Happy to have Darvin, happy to have Vinny, all those guys.
I just like the Darvin Hams back because
absolutely.
that's just a good thing when Ham Sandwich is a part of it. And also, there's obviously a lot of history there with the Bucks and with Darvin and Giannis. Really loving Darvin Ham. So I think that's an interesting one to bring in. But also in the NBA, a story that was more. It's always going to be a story, and it's going to continue to be a story every time Bronny James's name is attached to just about anything. But the numbers for his first contract in the NBA came out, and in the second round of the NBA draft, non-guaranteed deals. Right now, Tyler Kolek just got a massive deal with the New York Knicks, one of the largest second-round contracts that we've seen for a player.
Because those are not slotted like the
not
first
slotted.
Round. First round contracts are automatic slotted, right?
Well, or if you're AJ Johnson, you take a little less. He took 114% of what he was allowed to go to the 120%. I thought there was only 100% of a pie.
What's that about?
I didn't know that you could go to 120% of your slot value, but he went to 114.
Kind of
saved about $150,000. Come on, AJ Johnson. He's about the team.
He's like, I'm just going to get this done so I can start working right now. Just sign me up.
Yeah,
right?
sign me up.
I like that. Okay.
Well, now we thought LeBron said that he was going to take a pay cut if they brought in a notable player like DeMar DeRozan, Klay Thompson. Oh no. What about? Oh, hey, what about KCP? Let's bring it. No. Okay, well then give me the full max. So he takes the full max. Then they max out his son at 55 overall. John, 4 years, $4.4 million guaranteed for young Bronny James. He made his summer league debut just this weekend. Some people were fired up about his defense. $7.9 million. That part is unguaranteed. 4 of the last 6 guys to be picked 55th overall were non-guaranteed two-way contracts. Your boy Guy Santos.
Yeah.
GUI Santos.
Yeah.
75,000 guaranteed as the 2022 55th overall pick. There's something called J Scrub.
Wait, is it J. Scrub?
No, JAY Scrub.
Stop it.
Oh man, I thought he had a performing name too. J Scrub. That's
Right.
a good performing name.
Stage
I don't
name.
know. I don't know if you want that as a basketball player.
Yeah, I would have changed this one.
Put Scrub in.
His name.
Everybody's
Let's
looking
change
around
that.
like, damn, who they talking about?
Come on, Skip.
Who are you talking about here?
Let's change that, boss. Let's call him
that's me.
55.
I'm Jay.
Call him double nickel if there's anything else here.
His name is Scrub.
There's an Isaiah Wong sighting.
Okay.
Your boy Aaron
I'm
Wiggins was the
glad Armin
2021
didn't say
one.
that today with all his nefarious comments.
What's that?
Wong.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say
No,
that.
not yet.
No.
There's definitely a chance
Yeah,
here. And Kyle Guy rounds out the last 6 55th overall picks in the
Billy.
NBA draft.
Are these 2K? Are these the 2K names in franchise?
Sounds like
The
you're
fake names.
15 years into your franchise mode and you're just pulling up names here in the middle of the draft. Or this is going to be me in dynasty mode when college football 25 comes out next week and you're just ripping through all different kinds of players. And well, it is 2034. These are all created names. I mean, like that's a laundry list of created names. Then Bronny James comes in with a big number. Listen, people understand where I fall in on the James family. Big fan of the James family.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. If your pops can set you up this well for the situation with Bronny James, they clearly see that they can develop. And for 4 years, John, they're going to have a chance to have number 9 in the Lakers uniform. I thought getting picked was good. This is a hell of a deal. And if you're a father, you say, man, I hope I can set my kid up with $4.4 million guaranteed. First job, $4.4 million.
This is
not bad.
This is crazy.
Not bad.
This is crazy and laughable by the Lakers on this one. Let's just forget comparing to the 55th pick. Let's compare him to Tyler Kolek, who was selected 34th. Okay, so an early pick in the second round this year, 34th. You're talking about a guy who was Big East Player of the Year, two times first team All Big East. You know, how many points per game did he average, Armin?
Oh, off the top of my head, I don't know. I want to say.
How do you not know that?
It's got to be like 15 to 20. I mean, right? He had great numbers, obviously.
Big East tournament, most outstanding player, 2023.
He averaged 12.9 points a game in 22-23, 15 a night in his 31 games in 23-24.
Led all of college basketball in assists. I mean, you're talking about production.
A lot of college production.
Massive college production here. And Tyler Kolek gets $9 million over a 4-year, the 4th year being an option. Bronny James averaged 4.6 points a game, and he's getting $8 million roughly over the same 4-year. I mean, he basically got what Tyler Kolek got. His production did not come close to Tyler Kolek's production, not even sniffing it. And he got the same contract for all intents and purposes as Tyler Kolek did, the Big East Player of the Year.
Yeah, and I mean, now I don't know all the years that are guaranteed. Sure. I know the 4.4 million is guaranteed. Kolek gets the 3-year guaranteed. If Bronny gets 4 guaranteed, John, you can argue that one's still better.
You could.
You
could argue. I believe they're both a 4th-year option. I believe both of them
because I know it's a team year option for Kolek. I would assume that there'd be an option spot in there for Bronny. But hey, man, I understand there's a lot of people that are frustrated with the nepotism style of it. It might affect you in your job. It is clearly a part of our situation. But to act like this is the only situation of it, man, it's going to continue. But if you're in a position to be able to set your kid up like that, damn, congratulations. I will say, I loved the thought that LeBron was going to take less than the full max. For 2 years. I was a big fan of the thought, like, hey, he is going to take less here. Are we actually going to take less? No. We got this thing dialed in. We're going to take the max.
He didn't take less. I thought he took $3 million less. That kept him under the apron 2.
He said, let me get that full $105 million over the next 2 years. I just now there's ways that they're manipulating it with the guaranteed money so that they are trying to keep it under the second apron. But the way it was phrased is, Hey, we'll take significantly less if we can squeeze in one of these really, really good players. Oh, wait, you're not getting DeMar DeRozan, not getting Klay Thompson, not doing that. All right, Rob, write up that full max, bud. Let's I gave you a chance. You didn't get it done, so let's figure out something that is going to give me as much money as possible.
You know, there's a difference here between Giannis and Thanasis being there with Giannis and LeBron basically hedging this whole season off of him and AD being able to put it all back together and just Bronny James being the big acquisition for the team. They haven't gotten anybody. They haven't gotten better at all. They haven't changed their roster whatsoever.
Lakers fans don't like that. Laker tax has been trending.
Listen, Thanasis is on the bench, but the Bucks are still making moves. They're still bringing in Dame. They're still moving the roster and trading for pieces throughout the season, right? And Thanasis will get some burn at the end of games, whether they're getting blown out or they are blowing the other team out. And that's fine because they are still actively improving the team and going for championships. And I don't see how you sell this as the Lakers. That's what you're doing. Hey, we want the LeBron James and Bronny James show. We want this parade to go on the road. And that's what this is. 40-year-old LeBron James this year to be on the road in a show with his son.
Well, I think a lot of it, and tell me if I'm wrong, Billy, I know you're going to speak on it. It's like, there's a question of how many years LeBron is still going to play. And
maybe 1 to 2.
And when will this be over, right? At this point, like LeBron can wield power, but once he's retired, and until he owns a team.
But this is what the Lakers believe they are supposed to do, right? Like, remember when they gave the $200 million contract to Kobe and they said it's part of the reason why? Right. So players know that we take care of our guys. They know that we take care of guys in the Laker family. Like, they pride themselves on doing this. So
it's about AD more than anything, right?
Well, it should be if you think that you're going to be competitive.
Right.
So, like, to John's point, they clearly understand where they're at, I think, in the hierarchy of the Western Conference. And that organization is very okay with saying, we're going to try to do right by our star. It doesn't matter if we're competing for championships. We understand that we're not as good as Denver. We understand we're not as good as Minnesota. We understand we're not here, OKC, what have you.
But I don't know if they believe that. LeBron James over the weekend was giving interviews saying, I think we're right there. A year ago, we were right there in the Western Conference Finals, and this year didn't go the way we had planned, and we had won it. This team has won it in the bubble. Really, you and AD were the only two guys there in the bubble that won that thing. And I don't know, some people have
he's gone, mostly everyone else.
Some people have certain feelings about that bubble championship. It's still championship. You got posted, Armin. You got to put that banner up there. It's still championship.
Hey, they got a banner last year
for the
in-season tournament by Emirates.
I think, like, right. The West is wide open to that sense. I agree. I just don't consider them one even close to being the favorites. But, he's never going to believe he's not going to win a game. He's LeBron James, right? He's never
absolutely.
He's not going to walk in and say we're going to lose. So of course he's going to say that.
I think LeBron wants to. Vince Carter got 22 years, and LeBron has 21 now.
He wants to play that long. You think play long?
I think he wants 23.
Oh yeah,
he's got every record you could want right now in terms of longevity. Why not throw the years on it too?
And he's putting up numbers.
The other thing is he is playing well. Like that's the part of it. He's not just hanging on, sitting there, and Udonis Haslaming it, where he's sitting in a hoodie for the entire
run. Even
run.
Shaq did that at the end. Shaq was on teams, but he wasn't doing anything.
And that I agree with, but to some extent, that's ring chasing. Hey, can I be a piece that comes off the bench and just helps the team win a championship with my with my veteran status and my experience.
Yeah.
But this is still LeBron James. And the fact that he's competitive makes it worse. The fact that he's so close to being, one of the top. Would you still put LeBron James top 10 in the NBA?
No,
I probably would.
25
his player in the NBA? Yeah, he's right there.
25, 8, and 7 last year. A lot of teams would love that, right? I mean, for their team.
And the fact that he's still playing so well makes this egregious to me. Hey, we got you, we got AD, and we're just gonna here's all of this. Let's just keep this little core together, even though we can make other pieces, and we'll bring your son in and make that work here too. This is what we're going. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like a farce.
Would you rather him go somewhere, John, like you mentioned in ring chase? Do you think? Because I firmly believe people have their opinions made up about LeBron James. Right, you're either going to like him or you're going to hate him. There's very rare or very few people that are just indifferent
or getting their mind changed.
Okay, so here's the deal: had he gone to Dallas, or had he gone to Philadelphia, or had he gone to
Milwaukee,
Boston? I mean, now mathematically that's impossible. But had he done one of those things, I would feel worse about that than this. At least LeBron can he can stick it to us. He can, if they go and they just go to the NBA Finals this year with this team and Bronny along for the ride, then it's like, hey, all you guys doubting us, this is for you. And I'll put my hand up and say, I was a doubter because I am doubting.
Yeah,
I'm doubting that this thing is going to work. You don't pick up one piece in free agency and then you sign Bronny James for that massive contract.
No, and instead the Bucks might be taking one of their pieces of Taurean Prince. That one was rumored that he's going to be signing with the Bucks over the weekend. He was a role player for the Lakers last year. Didn't play a ton towards the end of it, but 9 points a game. So that works.
Really quick. I don't know. I know we're going to move on here, but like, I don't know if people realize LeBron, and this is one thing that could really help him keep that career going. He shot his best 3-point percentage of his career this year. 41%. He had never shot that in his whole career. Man,
not even close.
If he's to that level, can maintain the 3-point shot the way, that changes everything, obviously.
He can still help a team that is in contention. To John's point, the Lakers are not in contention. And as a LeBron stan, that sucks to know that he's not going to factor in towards the end. But as I mentioned, Paul Skeens is a guy that I'm going to go and still try to see one time in person on this run. If LeBron's playing, now he didn't this year when the Lakers came to Milwaukee. If he's playing, that's a game that I'm trying to find a way to get into the arena to see at least one more time. I want to see that cat play one more time, and that's an in-person kind of thing. However, as the NBA goes, you got to make sure that they're playing. We're always playing in hour 3, especially because Potawatomi Sportsbook, one of our favorite places.
And I can only imagine that this Friday and Saturday down at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook was absolutely electric. Absolutely electric. Filled to the brim. All 400 spaces for people to take up was being used. The 200 seats, the 200 standing room. I'm sure it was all filled to watch the Euros, which had a whopping 8 goals in 4 games of the quarterfinals. They were unbelievable games to watch. And not a lot of scoring. So some people say, well, no, I can't watch soccer. But these things were something else. And that's where we're going here today. Before we go forward, let's go back. Armin, there was a pick made last week by you while Billy and I were on vacation. One pick. What was the pick?
Yannick Sinner. He's playing really well. Top dog right now. And I picked him to cover a -5.5 in his match last Wednesday. Didn't do it, unfortunately. I took the L on that one for us guys. So sorry. He's still in the tournament, though. Should have just taken a money line, maybe.
What do you win by?
Oh, 3? I can't. I think it was like 3 or 2 because he won 2 of them were tie breaks. So like those were just one
game. When
and he lost a set.
When you bet the actual game line, you can't have the tie breaks.
Right.
Man, he might have won by 1.
I should have bet the over on. Yeah, he might have. He might have actually lost the games, but won the match. I should have bet the over on total games. That would have been good, but I didn't. So we are gonna stick with this because Billy and I got to do the station function tomorrow, so we won't be here, which means I can go into this Euros and pick Spain against France. And this is the matchup everybody wanted to see. And Spain got through the first matchup that everybody wanted to see, Spain versus Germany. That was an electric factory. 2-1 Spain went through on that one. France got through on some what do they call them? They don't call them penalty kicks at the end, do they? They do. They call them PKs. Penalty kicks.
It's not actually shootout, but it's got through in the shootout. Portugal. Some people. Ronaldo's last match. Ronaldo said it will not be his last match for Portugal. So we'll see how that. Well, France and Spain. This is the one everybody's been wanting to see. Semifinals. And there's 2 great semifinals, and I'm glad the other one's on Wednesday, so we'll get to pick that one on Wednesday. But for today, we want a can't miss. Here's a can't miss. You got to go down to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook and pick France to advance. You can't pick France as Spain to win. You pick Spain to win. They could go to PKs to advance. So you got to pick Spain to advance in this one. I think this one could be tight. I think this one could go to a shootout, but I'm picking Spain to advance against France today.
Spain to advance against France. The pick is in.
Now, I just want to remind the listeners again. If you're following us and you're playing our can't miss, you got to pick Spain to advance, not Spain in regular time, but Spain to advance.
To advance is the way it works because you're right. They might not get the dub, but they can advance with the PKs. France. It's going to be a really interesting match. France is really good, but they don't score a lot, and they haven't scored a lot. Mbappe, I call him the Giannis of soccer for France. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be a great
I want
match.
to pick Spain to win in regular time because I want that bump from minus 125 to plus 170. But I got to play it safe for the winners. We got to get them a win.
Sure, we need a dub.
Yeah, especially if it's a 2-day deal, we got to give them a win. And to have these games coming up this week, yeah, I'm gonna be totally watching almost every second. Can't miss this one. So why is Mbappe the Giannis of soccer?
Well, I think he plays like him. He's very physical, specimen, plays hard, power, and he's won the title at World Cup. He was with France when they won the World Cup.
Sure,
as a young player, he kind of looks like him, and that's really what it is.
I like that he was rocking a mask.
He was rocking a mask because he had some sort of he had blow to the face injury.
Pause.
Yeah.
414-799-1978.
doing it today. You're
Holy cow!
gutter all day long.
Hold on.
Oh my
You're
God.
thinking about this baby.
Hold
Woo. Are you getting a text? You got to go.
No,
Is
I
it go
You gotta
time?
go?
Is it go time?
No, it's not.
We good?
It's not.
So you're gonna be back on the other side.
I'm good, but don't you think he looks like Giannis? I think he looks like Giannis.
414-799-1973. NicolayLaw.com talking text line. We're back
Whatever.
after this. It's Kuhn, Billy, and Armin on the game. 414-799-1973, the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Just had a conversation about Bronny James getting that 4-year guaranteed deal, $4 million, $4 million plus, up to almost $8 million. John, this one from Dan and Elkhorn. I said that no one was going to change their minds on LeBron. I like this from Dan. He said, if LeBron takes this team to the finals, I'll concede he's better than Jordan.
So that's kind of my point. Like, yeah. I look at this and I go, man, this is so foolish. This is so stupid. But if it works and he's in there and Bronny is getting garbage minutes in a game 6 of the NBA Finals, I'm be like, okay, you got us all.
What if
you got me? You got everybody else.
And by the end of the day, what if he plays in the playoffs and he's actually playing defense on somebody? That'd be hilarious.
What if he got contributing?
Gets actually
points?
Contributing minutes. Christian Brown played a lot of minutes in the Nuggets run to the finals.
You never know.
I mean, he was a rookie.
Yeah,
a lot of defensive minutes. It would be a feat. I still think his greatest feat. It's hard to say not winning the title 3-1. Top 2 is going to be taking that team with Zydrunas Ilgauskas to the NBA Finals when he was young, that first run with the Cavs and getting boat raced by the San Antonio Spurs. But it would be a fascinating story. How about this fast? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
The last thing is a lot of people keep chiming in about the heart attack that he suffered about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Remember that?
Cardiac arrest.
Camp, right at their first couple practices at USC. And I can't help but wonder, what do the doctors say about this, right? USC's doctors cleared him. They cleared him to go out there and play, and he played. So once the doctors clear you, they clear you. You're good to go. They're the ones on the liability here.
Yeah, and I don't know that is you'd be able to speak to it, playing through and, playing after injuries and after surgeries. That one, I don't know that you would have the trepidation getting back like you do a knee injury, like you do an ankle, something where you're rehabbing throughout. Obviously there's rigorous rehab for it, but I just wonder if that's the same.
Well, yeah. So different when you say trepidation, I caution. It's different because you blow out your knee again. It's just your knee. You can have some more surgeries. You might struggle walking later in life, but you're alive, right? This is hard.
Totally different.
Yeah. This is something serious. This is like, and that's why I said, well, the USC doctors cleared him. I played with many players, Nick Collins being one of them, whose career got ended because of a neck injury, right? So they're told, we can't pass you as doctors. We don't feel confident if you take a hit at the wrong angle that it won't end it. So we're not going to pass you. I've seen a lot of players, I could, Jonathan Franklin, Jermichael Finley, Nick Collins. Like there was Palmer, Tony Palmer, our offensive lineman. Many of them I saw. And that's because the doctors simply say, no, we can't do this for you. We can't pass you because this would not be safe for you.
The liability.
We could not do this with our conscience. He's been passed. He's been cleared. I don't think it's an issue.
Well, and then the interesting thing is, if you really dig into that part of it, getting passed and things like that, I think of Latu, the pass rusher from UCLA this year, that was a first-round pick. He ended up being the first defensive player taken in the NFL draft. He went to like 15 doctors to finally end up getting cleared, was medically retired for a full year because nobody would clear him. Like they are massive setbacks. However, once you do get the clearance, now we'll see what you can end up doing with it. Nepotism gets you in the door. It doesn't get you the next deal, right? This gets a heck of a nest egg for a dad to start out in front of his son. If indeed he gets another deal, it'll be earned by him. It won't just be because his dad is picking the team for him to go to. How about this one, guys? Mike Florio has some stories that always give me an eyebrow raise, right?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Oh, I love this.
Florio's a lot on here with us. Do you have alerts set on Florio? Because I feel like you have more Florio tweets than Norman tweets.
No, but Pro Football Talk is one of my favorite websites to go to.
Yeah.
So it's a daily pull up for me is on Pro Football Talk.
Well, they tweet more than me.
So you're on the bathroom and you're like, what's your checklist then?
So it all comes to the presets on my computer, right? Okay. So I start up each and every day.
You take your computer into the dumper? That's impressive.
No, this is usually after the morning business. That's just straight scrolling is going to be on the Oval Office. Right, right. That's straight scrolling on Twitter, a little bit of Instagram, but mostly all Twitter.
Okay.
It starts with PackersNews.com. ESPN, NFL.com, MLB.com, the Athletic Pro Football Talk are right next to each other in that line. So I just run through each one on the toolbar and get, to.
That's amazing. So Pro Football Talk's like number 6 on the dial, but it always has a hit to be played on here.
Always, because there's
You
always
said Packers.
something
You said
wild.
Packers.com. What's the last?
PackersNews.com. Yep.
PackersNews.com. What's the last good thing we had on there?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Another Jordan Love story. Another Jordan Love. When are we signing the contract?
Sometimes in sports, no news is good news. And at this time of the year, no news on the Packers is probably good news for the Packers.
Big time. Big time, especially in the division over the weekend. This story that popped up here. Just imagine if the Green Bay Packers did this, John. What the traffic would be like at 1265. The Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals are renovating their stadium. Complete overhaul. They are selling televisions from the stadium at a rummage sale outside the stadium.
Wow, that's awesome, actually.
As the renovation continues on Paycor Stadium, they've already sold 200 monitors. Another 150 will be released later on this week. From screens to 56 to 85-inch TVs.
Why not?
Oh gosh. Yes.
Being sold between $30 and $60.
Why not?
What are we doing here?
Let's go.
Let's take a trip to Cincinnati. Why are we not getting an 85-inch TV for the studio?
And I love how they thought to do it and not just toss them. Like, you know what? We can get a little money for these. Who wants to come buy a TV? Why
Begins
not?
July 13th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Gate D of Paycor Stadium. Cash only. No remotes with the televisions.
Ooh,
However,
that's
Cash
tough.
only?
Cash only. Free
This is
mounting
awesome.
brackets. One television purchase per customer. No returns.
That's
How
awesome.
many people have $60 cash in their pocket right now?
I think I do.
That's a good question.
I really do.
That's a good
Don't
question.
rob me.
I
think
did
I
just
do.
go to
I
the
know-
ATM, so
I
I got a
I
little
know
bit.
a lot of people that walk around with like a 20 in their pocket just in case
If
they
that.
get stuck and they just need some gas.
Yeah, I'm OG. I hate that. I like carrying some cash around because I don't like not having it.
You
I
get
know-
looked at weird if you try paying with cash right now.
You get looked at weird, bro. I'm so old
414-799-1973. What is the value you must keep in your pocket of cash? In your wallet. In your wallet, how much cash? My wife never has cash.
Never. Mine never does.
She's like, we got to get home to the babysitter. Do you have any cash? I'm like,
No,
How
yeah.
much is the babysitter? We were going for an hour. $15. You want $15?
I don't have any. Come on.
Venmo them.
Give me an Andrew Jackson.
Here's a
Let's be
20.
smart.
Give her a tip. I mean, what? There are people that don't carry any money.
Any money. My wife's same way, John. I mean, like, I literally get looked at strangely for trying to pay with cash because why don't you just use your card?
It's crazy to me. That's
Because
crazy.
I have this money in my
Right.
pocket to spend. So I know how much I'm actually spending instead of just, tapping my phone because I can forget my wallet
Right.
and still buy stuff. Now.
I don't like it. I want.
It's
I need
dangerous.
I need to have it. I feel safe having a little extra cash just in case. My Laura thinks I'm crazy. But
And you
I'm
got
like,
more cash in your pocket because you just hit a Coons can't miss.
I know.
So that's another reason why you spend the cash easily.
And what if there's a lemonade stand? You need cash. They're not taking Venmo. Actually, they probably are these days.
You got to get into the lemonade. Can we share the lemonade stand
Sure,
story
I don't
I got
care.
on Snap yesterday?
I don't care. I'll
Oh,
share
he's
it.
still snapping your stories. Was Laura working a lemonade stand pregnant?
No, she
In a
wasn't.
blouse?
No, she wasn't. No, what?
Pregnant Laura
High
Snapchat that I
heels.
got from Armin yesterday.
Blouse and high heel picture.
No. We
At a
weren't
lemonade
working
stand.
that. No, we were patronizing the lemonade stand.
Armin sent the picture of Laura at the lemonade stand and said, check out this fit.
Actually, just ridiculing
You're a
his
freak.
wife.
You're such a freak.
No, I'm not. Actually, you are the one that is doing that freak stuff. You are the guy that's doing that. Actually, no, that's funny. No, we'll share it. That'll be my take home of
Can
the
that
day.
be your take home of the day and your
Sure.
final story before you walk off here
Yeah.
into fatherhood?
Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, there we go. Armin Sarian's final takeaway of the day as he goes into being a father coming up tomorrow. It's 9 to noon on the Game. All right, we ask, you answer. 414-799-1973. Tony in Oak Creek, John Kuhn. Depends on where you're going. Going to visit the kids at college, $200. Today, $10 in my wallet at any given time. Pat from Newburgh, I try to have at least a $20 bill. I have a $50 bill in a secret spot for emergencies in my wallet. Chad from Grafton.
Spot
What's
in
the secret
wallet?
spot do
There's
for
not
you?
that many secret spots in the wallet. It's in the wallet.
Yeah. Why
Why
is
you
it
tuck it
secret?
away?
Why is it secret?
Because it's in a different part of the
Yeah.
wallet. It's in a different pocket.
No,
Might be
I'm assuming
behind his insurance card
I'm
or
assuming
something.
it's in a secret spot in case he gets jacked. And you know what? They're not going to worry about the secret spot. They're just going to take the whole damn wallet.
Yeah,
Right.
they're just going to take the wallet.
Right.
It's not like you have a safe in the wall behind a picture. Here.
I would have thought it was just like in case, my friend says, hey, let's go to the casino. Oh, I got some money in here.
Oh, like he's
I got a
hiding
little
it.
secret cash
Oh,
here
that's
that,
different.
somebody, the missus might not know about. I got an extra 100 sitting right here.
That's
Because
different.
that's where Chad and Grafton said, I only have cash for casino use only. All right, Chad.
No, that's a big factor.
They'll
You-
find their way over to the casino.
There's a great line, a great Coons can't miss. You got to be ready to hammer it.
Schwartz Center.
You
I
know?
try to keep $20, especially now Softball Park only takes cash so I can purchase a pitcher of beer after the game.
That doesn't seem like a lot still to me. I don't know how you guys can walk around comfortably knowing you only have that much
$20
cash.
is like survival,
Dude,
right?
I'm-
You're on a stranded island. Here, we're going to give you Flint. That's all we're going to give
This is
you.
what you get.
You're going to
Grammy said $100 always.
Oh, Grammy's a real one.
Graham is an OG.
She's a
$100
G.
always.
She's
I
a
will
G.
say there are times where I don't have any money in my wallet. Usually I'll try to go to the ATM and take like $100 out for the week and maybe have that as some walking around cash.
You know what's even worse than no money in the wallet? How about no wallet at all and still being able to survive?
No, I'm not one of these guys.
I roll up to gas stations all the time, like, oh my gosh, where's my wallet? My wallet's not here. All right, guess I'm going to swipe my watch. I'm
Yep.
going to swipe my watch to pay for my gas and my Celsius here before I take a road trip.
But John, it is a remarkable ability because for somebody that forgets his wallet, loses it at least once or twice a week, being able to have the survival cash in your credit card on the phone, a remarkable ability.
Oh yeah, and there's everywhere takes it now.
Yeah, just about everywhere. Yep, just about everywhere. And I will say, as somebody that never had the tap card, that's
Nope.
a power. You hit that bad boy, you
Yeah.
feel- boom,
It's
done.
like a G. Yeah.
You feel pretty cool. 414-799-1973. Quick Trip takeaway of the day. Brought to you by Quick Trip. Need something for dinner tonight? Don't cook. Stop by your local Quick Trip. Pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal. Armin, you might even find.
Chicken Alfredo, potatoes, salad. He likes to stick to what he knows.
Make sure Nick writes that down because he's supposed to be taking notes here.
Yeah, Nick,
I have
come
not
on.
seen him taking a whole lot of notes.
Mental notes.
The
Mental
mental notes, good mental reps. But that is one of the important things that he's going to have to do, taking over for you for the
So-
next couple of weeks as you go away
Yep.
to have your unborn child. Are you
Well, hopefully
nervous,
it is born.
excited?
Nervous, excited. Yes.
Currently unborn child.
Yeah, correct. Nervous, yes. Excited, yes. Anxious, yes. You know, all these things, all these feelings, they come upon you all the time. So during this time,
And
yeah,
tomorrow it's going to be, let's go, right? Tomorrow's
go time.
the
you
force.
just react. Tomorrow, you just react. They keep telling me about downtime. They keep telling me about have snacks
Well, yeah,
prepared.
that's
have-
because
Definitely.
tomorrow it's going to,
yeah.
because they're going to do it. They're going to do it tomorrow. So we should expect something within 24 hours.
I don't know. I think so.
36.
Or maybe
I
30,
would say maybe 36, closer to.
How many hours do we put that stopwatch on before we press go?
I
that's a
don't.
good question.
I don't have that experience. I don't know
What
what
time
to
do you
expect.
go in the morning?
That's the question.
6 or 7. It's early. I think it's like.
So you guys are
6:30.
going in the morning because when we had scheduled the time, they had said 7:30 at night. I'm like, hold on.
Really?
Your
Mhm.
boy was only going to be awake till about 9:30. Like I'm going to have to stay awake this whole night. Luckily, it changed.
When am I
didn't
going
work.
to sleep? Not tonight, obviously. So like, when am I? That's okay. I don't have to sleep.
6 or
I'm
7
not
in the
gonna
morning. I'm predicting 8:43 birth tomorrow night.
Really?
That's my
Ooh,
prediction.
Oh, man.
okay.
8:43.
That's good time. That's a good
I'm
time.
going 10:24 at night.
Oh, all right. I like that.
Like Price is Right. He just
What-
whatever.
I'll go
$7.
seven.
Though.
I'll go
You wanna-
7 pounds 5 ounces, John.
Wow, that's a big kid baby. No, I think.
Armin's tiny. I'm going 6 pounds 9 ounces.
Okay. Oh, nice. I like that.
All right, let's
Nice
go.
work.
Let's go.
414-799-1973. Come on, buddy.
Trust the
Hey,
process.
we are proud of you.
You know, trust
we
the-
are. You had one
you.
mistake to be able to drop on everybody as you walk on out of here with the story from yesterday
I teased this story
of
about
lemonade stands.
the lemonade stand. Little Laura and I are taking a walk. You're supposed to take these walks, you know. And
There's other things you can do to induce labor. I've read.
Yeah, so we're taking a walk, and we see the lemonade
Eating
stand,
spicy foods.
but a bunch of young girls right in front of the church there, selling lemonade.
I love that.
So,
Yeah.
hey, let's go buy some lemonade. I said, Laura,
Entrepreneurship.
you want some? She goes, no. I'm like, she goes, what if they spiked it? Who thinks that way? What? Who thinks that way?
Well, you should be happy that she thought that way, because you know what, Armin?
She's protecting. I'm not.
And
I know.
she would have, and if she wasn't thinking like that, that's how you know women actually carry the babies and men don't, because men would eat sushi and everything else we're not supposed to eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure
it's fish.
I'm sure this group of 8-year-olds came up with this master plan to sell lemonade in front of the church for $1.
Spike it with vodka.
Yeah,
tequila.
Yeah. What if they spiked it? Like the
You roll up for lemonade. We'll take a lemonade. It's actually lemon drops.
like what? Right.
We're selling lemon drops here for $1 a piece.
Would you like the side of Jose Cuervo with that?
Like what?
Would you
Who
like a
thinks that
floater?
way?
I get that video, and that was my favorite Snapchat that I've ever gotten of Armin and Lara.
That was funny. I saved it. I will admit that was a funny Snapchat, because I'm like, who thinks this way? Of course, when I went up to get some, they were out of it. They were out of the, and then I'm like,
What?
I'm like, what else do you have? Fruit punch? Can I get that? Well, we're out of that too. What we'd have to make some. I'm like, what? You guys?
Well,
selling
then let's get to making some lemonade.
I'm like, you guys got to have product. You can't just market. Okay. I said,
Right.
do you guys have bottles of water? Yep. Let me get 2 bottles of water. That's what I got.
Lemon drops and jungle juice. That's what they were serving.
That's
at
what it
this
was.
lemonade.
And they were all out of it. You got to have product to sell.
Hey,
That's why they have
jungle juice is a hitter,
Oh,
especially
big
on
time.
a Sunday fun day.
big time. And then they had water if you had to sober up at the lemonade stand.
I got 2
love that.
bottles of water. I said, they can't spike those. So I guess.
Well,
They
man,
could.
we are beyond happy for you.
Thanks,
We're
brothers.
extremely happy for you and
Appreciate
Lara. Hope everything goes well, and we are excited to hear your announcement. 8:15 on the Steve Zabin Show coming up on Wednesday.
I will. How about this? I won't do it on the Steve Zabin Show first. How about that? All right. Sounds
Oh,
good.
Drew and KB. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. Sounds good.
Thank you guys. I
Mike
appreciate
Keller,
everybody.
breaking
on the
news
Mike
show.
Keller
That's
Show,
what
the
it
breaking
is.
news show.
And yes.
It's going to happen now. Now that I think about it, it's going to happen tomorrow at 1:30.
Yep, right there in the middle of it. Makes sense. Armin Sarian,
Thanks,
great
guys.
work, man. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. For John Kuhn, I'm Billy Schmidt. We'll try to be better on Wednesday. We'll reconvene Dave Sinekin, and tomorrow we'll hand it off to Mike Keller right after this on The Game.